Hi guys, this is Hirosaki. This story is all about what if Naruto was sent to Westeros. After Naruto defeated Madara and the 10-tailed beast, Kami sent him to his new destiny in Westeros. Found by Robert and Ned, Naruto will face the battles for the Seven Kingdoms. Now the stags, wolves and lions must deal with the fox as Naruto will shift the game for the Iron Throne. Welcome aboard! Chapter 2, The Game Has Changed. In the training courtyard of Winterfell, Bran was practicing his archery. He then saw a raven fly right by him and land on a hay barrel. Bran saw that there was something unusual with the raven and walked closer. The raven flew to the gates and Bran followed. As Bran drew closer, he saw that the raven had 3 eyes. Bran's eyes opened as he saw the ceiling of his room. Bran awoke from his dream and sat up to see his direwolf next to him. The little lord's been dreaming again. The maid said as the door to Bran's room opened to reveal Theon Greyjoy. Bran's direwolf growled, but Theon walked in. "We have visitors." Theon said, "I don't want to see anyone." Bran said, just wanting to be alone to think what that dream meant. "Really, if I was cooped up all day with no one but this old bat for company, I'd go mad." Theon joked. "Anyway, you don't have a choice, Rob's waiting. I don't want to go." Bran said, "Neither do I, but Rob's Lord of Winterfell, which means I do what he says and you do what I say." Theon said as Bran reluctantly agreed and got out of bed. In the main hall of the castle, Tyrion was called before Robb on his way back to King's Landing. "I must say I received a much warmer welcome on my last visit." Tyrion said, "Anyone from the Night's Watch is welcome at Winterfell." Robb said to the guard who came with Tyrion, "Any man of the Night's Watch, but not I, boy." Tyrion said, "I'm not your boy, Lannister. I'm Lord of Winterfell while my father's away." Robb said, "You might learn a lord courtesy." Tyrion said as Bran walked into the room. So, Naruto was right. "Hello, Bran. Do you remember anything of what happened?" He has no memory of that day. The maester said, "Well, I'm glad you're all right. Naruto told me you're Quiet the Climber, so I have a gift for you." Tyrion said, handing Bran a parchment with a schematic. "This is a special harness your saddler can construct. When matched with a hook, it should save your life next time you climb." Tyrion said with a smile as Bran smiled, "Why are you doing this?" Robb asked. Bran was almost crippled, and I have a thing in my heart for cripples, bastards and broken things. Tyrion said, "Now if you'll excuse me, I shall retire to the brothel for the night." Tyrion said as he left. In Essos, Daenerys and the Dothraki horde were riding to Dothrak, the Dothraki city. They rode up to the entrance, which was a gateway arched by 2 large statues of rearing horses. Dothrak, the city of the horse lords. Mormont told the Targaryens. Daenerys was in awe at the city, but Viserys wasn't. A pile of mud and shit and twigs. Best these savages can do. These are my people now. You shouldn't call them savages. Daenerys told her brother. I'll call them what I like because they're my people. This is my army. Khal Drogo is marching the wrong way with my army. Viserys told them as he rode ahead. The rest of the horde soon followed. If my brother was given an army of Dothraki, could you go into the 7 kingdoms? Daenerys asked. The Dothraki have never crossed the narrow sea. They fear any water their horses can't drink. Mormont told her. But if they did? Daenerys asked as Mormont thought for a second. King Robert is fool enough to meet them in open battle, but the men advising him are different. Mormont said, "And you know these men?" She asked. "Some of them, I fought beside them once, long ago. Now Ned Stark wants my head. He drove me from my lands." Mormont said. "But he is not the main problem." "Who is?" Daenerys asked. "Naruto Uzumaki, a young man people say are blessed by the gods and delivered to the 7 kingdoms. He's is known as the Orange Flash and the protector of the House Stark." Mormont said, hearing the tales and stories of Naruto. "Do you think he will be a problem?" Daenerys asked. "Most definitely, they say his skill with magic is unmatched. He is a mighty warrior and his speed is the reason for his name." Mormont told her. Daenerys thought to herself, and if Mormont was right, this Naruto Uzumaki would be a big problem if they tried to attack Westeros. Maybe she could do something to remove him from the picture, or turn him to her side. Sansa and Lady Mordain walked through the throne room of the castle as Lady Mordain continued to educate Sansa should the time come when Lord Stark decides to marry her to Joffrey. Someday your husband will sit there and you will sit by his side. And one day before too long you will present your son to the court. All the lords of Westeros will gather here to see the little prince. Mordain told Sansa, but Sansa didn't want to marry Joffrey. What if I have a girl? Sansa asked. Gods be good, you'll have boys and girls, and plenty of them. Mordain said. What if I only have girls? Sansa told her. I wouldn't worry about that, but should that happen then the next in line would be Joffrey's younger brother. But I wouldn't worry, Joffrey would love you regardless. Mordain said. I don't want to marry Joffrey. Sansa said as Mordain just shook her head. Sansa, if this is about that business with that Naruto, I have told you countless times, he is a bad influence on you. Mordain said. Naruto does what he does because he loves me and my family. Just shut up about things you don't understand. Sansa told her as she left, not wanting to hear Mordain disrespect Naruto. In the council room of the castle, Ned and Naruto were with the other lords as a captain of the Kingsguard came to them to express the need for more help. It's the hands tournament that's causing all this trouble, my lord. The captain said as Ned rubbed his head in annoyance. The King's tournament. I assure you the hand wants no part of it. Ned told the captain. Call it what you will, Lord Stark, sir, but city is packed with people with more flooding in every day. Last night we had a tavern riot, a brothel fire, 3 stabbings, and a drunken horse race down the streets of Sisters. The captain said. Dreadful. Varys said. If you can't keep the king's peace, perhaps the city watch should be commanded by someone who can. Renly said. I need more men. The captain said. You'll get 50, Lord Baelish will see it paid for. Ned said. Of course. Lord Baelish said. I'll also give you 20 of my household guard until the crowds have left. Ned said. Thank you, my lord hand, sir. They will be put to good use. The captain said as he bowed and then left. The sooner this is over, the better. Ned said. The realm prospers from such events, my lord. They give the greater a chance at glory and the lowly a respite from their woes. Varys said. Every inn in the city is full, and the whores are walking bow-legged. Baelish said. I'm sure that they're putting many a coin in your pocket. Now, if there's nothing else, my lords. Ned told them as he got up and they left. This heat. On days like this, I envy you northerners and your summer snow. Till tomorrow, my lord. Pycelle said, but Ned stopped him. I was hoping to talk to you about Jon Arryn. Ned said. Lord Arryn? Well, his death was a great sadness to all of us. I took personal charge of his care, but I could not save him. His sickness struck him, very hard, and very fast. I saw him in my chambers just the night before he passed. Lord Jon often came to me for counsel. Pycelle told Ned and Naruto. Why? Naruto asked. I have been Grand Maester for many years. Kings and hands have come to me for advice. What did Jon want the night before he died? Ned interrupted Pycelle. Oh, he came inquiring a book. Pycelle said. A book? What book? Naruto asked. I fear it would be of little interest to you, my lords. A ponderous tome. Pycelle said. No, I'd like to read it. Ned said. Pycelle then led Naruto and Ned to his office and he got the book that Jon wanted. The lineages and history of the great houses of the 7 kingdoms. With descriptions of many high lords and noble ladies and their children. Pycelle told them as he showed them a very large book. Ned then opened the book and read over a few pages of previous rulers and lords of the land. Why would Jon Arryn want a history book? Naruto asked. As I said, my lord, a ponderous read. Pycelle told them. Did Jon Arryn tell you what he wanted with it? Ned asked. He did not, my lord. I did not presume to ask. Pycelle said. Well, Jon's death, did he say anything to you in his final hours? Ned asked. Nothing of import, my lord. There was one phrase he kept repeating, the seed is strong, I think it was. Pycelle said, "The seed is strong?" Naruto asked, "What does that mean?" Ned asked, "Oh, the dying mind are a demented kind, Lord Stark. For all the wake they're given, last words are usually as significant as their first words." Pycelle said, "And you're quite certain he died of a natural illness?" Ned asked, "What else could it be?" Pycelle asked, "Poison." Ned said, "Disturbing thought. No, no, no. I don't think it likely. The hand was loved by all, what sort of man would dare?" Pycelle asked, "I heard it said that poison is a woman's weapon." Ned said, "Yes, women, cravens, and eunuch. Did you know Lord Varys is a eunuch?" Pycelle asked, "Everybody knows that." Ned said. Ned and Naruto then bid farewell to Maester Pycelle and returned to their quarters. They entered to see Arya, balancing on one foot at the top of the stair. Syrio knows a water dancer who can stand on one toe for hours. Arya told them, "It's a hard fall down these steps." Ned told her, "Syrio says every hurt is a lesson, and every lesson makes you better." Arya said with a smile, "Tomorrow, I'm going to be chasing cats." "Cats?" Ned asked. Syrio says. He says every swordsman should study cats. They're as quiet as shadows and as light as feathers. You have to be quick to catch them. Arya said. Oh, you do, and when you do you'll find yourself faster than you were before. Just steer clear of the claws. Naruto said as he shivered at the memories of Tora. Now that Bran's awake, will he come live with us? Arya asked. Well, that's up to him, but I don't think he'll want to leave Rob all by himself. Naruto said. Now get back to your training. Naruto told her as she did. Days passed as Ned and Naruto's investigation continued on. Apparently, his clone was able to find out that Cersei and Jaime were behind the attack on Bran, but as to why he figured from what he heard, Jaime loved Cersei more than a brother should and Bran figured it out. Naruto didn't want to show Ned and Robert just yet until they knew how they killed Jon Arryn, and when they did, then they would get them tried for the murder of Jon and the attempted murder of Bran. Naruto risked that just by presenting a recording, the Lannisters could easily dispute the legitimacy of it. The Lannisters have the resources and the backing to refute any kind of statement, especially if it came from Naruto's magic without proper proof. Naruto just needed to wait a few more days. The city was filled with ears and he couldn't risk any information getting out. But when he got the chance, he would tell Ned. Ned and Naruto were walking with Lord Baelish through one of the courtyards of the palace. I hear you're reading a boring book. Lord Baelish said as Ned and Naruto knew how he found out. Pycelle talks too much. Ned said. Oh, he never stops. Do you know Ser Hugh of the Vale? Baelish asked as Ned and Naruto shook their heads no. Not surprising, until recently he was only a squire, Jon Arryn's squire. He was knighted almost immediately after his master's untimely death. Knighted for what? Ned asked, but Baelish didn't answer. Why are you telling me this? I'd promised Cat that I would help you. Lord Baelish said. Where is Ser Hugh? Naruto asked. I would advise against that. You see that little bird? Baelish said as they looked at a small boy who was playing in the dirt. One of Varys' little spies, the spider has taken a great interest in your comings and goings. Now look there, that hand, that one belongs to the queen. And do you see that scepter, pretending to read her book, she's one of mine. Lord Baelish said as Naruto unsheathed a dagger and pressed it to his back. I would advise caution with that, little finger. Naruto warned him as Ned signaled him to lower his weapon. I think we're done, Lord Baelish. Ned said. As you wish, Lord Stark. Lord Baelish said as he left. I do not trust that man, say the word and I kill him. Naruto whispered to Ned. Peace, Naruto. Lord Baelish is still a lord of King's Landing and must be approached with extreme caution. Ned warned him. I don't care, my only concern is the safety of you and your family. Naruto told him as they continued walking. Is that why you gave Lord Baelish all your money? Ned asked. I didn't give that to him, but to you. Robert may be my friend, but I would not have his foolish decisions as king ruin your life. Naruto told him as Ned smiled. You sure about that? With that money you could have been a lord yourself. Ned told him, I no longer seek such things anymore. Back in my world, I sought the position of my village's ruler for acceptance and admiration, but after coming here, I no longer crave for such things. Naruto said. And what do you crave, Naruto? Ned asked. Peace. Naruto said. But there is much work to do here if one is to achieve that. Yes, a lot of work. Ned said as they continued to walk on. Naruto told Ned that he was able to sneak some information about what Jon Arryn did before he died. Apparently, he went to a blacksmith in town, but as to why he didn't know. Ned and Jory went to the blacksmith to see what he could find and why Jon went there. Ned told Naruto to look out for the girls at the joust while he did some business. Naruto agreed, but had a clone watch over them just in case. Naruto sat with Sansa and Arya in the stands for the joust. They were excited for the joust to begin and Arya couldn't wait. Naruto saw Lord Baelish walk by and they both nodded to each other out of respect, but that's about it. King Robert then stood up. We've been sitting here for day. Start the damn joust before I piss myself. Robert yelled, drunk from wine as Cersei left in disgust. The jousters then made their way to the field. One was a very tall man wearing black armor and he stood out because he was the largest. Who is that? Sansa asked. Ser Gregor Clegane, they call him the Mountain. The Hound's older brother. Lord Baelish told him. And his opponent? Sansa asked. Ser Hugh of the Vale. He was Jon Arryn's squire, look how far he's come. Naruto said as both jousters nodded to the king. Yes, enough of the bloody pomp, have at it. Robert told them. The two riders went to their respective corners for the joust. When they got to their ends, squires came up and handed them their shields and jousting lances. A horn was blown as the two raced at one another with their spears out. The first ride, the Mountain smacked Ser Hugh, but no damage was done. Everyone watched with awe as the two riders quickly reset and charged at each other again. This time, the Mountain thrusts his lance forward and it hit Ser Hugh right in the neck. Sansa screamed as everyone was shocked to see what happened. Ser Hugh fell off his horse and everyone saw a giant wooden splinter in his throat. He was gasping, trying to breathe, but his wound was too substantial and coughed up blood before ultimately dying. Two squires came up and dragged his body away as Naruto shook his head. Idiot. Naruto was soothing Sansa and Arya who just witnessed a murder as Lord Baelish whispered into Naruto's ear. Not what you were expecting. Has anyone ever told you of the story of the Mountain and the Hound? No. Naruto said. A lovely little tale of brotherly love. The Hound was just a pup, 6 years old maybe, Gregor a few years older, already a big lad getting a bit of a reputation. Some lucky boys just born with a talent for violence. One evening, Gregor found his little brother playing with a toy by the fire, Gregor's toy. A wooden knight, Gregor never said a word, he just grabbed his brother by the scruff of his neck and shoved his face into the burning coals. Held him there while the boy screamed, while his face melted. Lord Baelish told him, Why are you telling me this? Naruto asked. So, you know a little history if you decide to act next time. But don't tell anyone of the story. For if the Hound knew, I fear there would not be enough knights in King's Landing to protect you. Lord Baelish said as he left. Back in Essos, Viserys was dragging Daenerys' handmaiden by her hair to his sister's tent. She was screaming and protesting while he just violently dragged her. He then entered the tent and threw her in front of Daenerys. You send this whore to give me commands? I should have sent you back her head. Forgive me, Khaleesi. The maiden said. Hush now, it's all right. Take her and leave us. Daenerys told her maiden who grabbed the girl and quickly left. Why did you hit her? How many times do I have to tell you? You do not command me. Viserys said in anger. I wasn't commanding you. I just wanted to invite you to supper. Daenerys said. What's this? Viserys asked, holding the clothes on a table. It's a gift, I had it made for you. Daenerys said. Dothraki rags, you're going to dress me now. This stinks of manure. All of it. Viserys yelled in frustration as he threw the clothes and a golden necklace at her. Stop it. She told him. You would turn me into one of them, wouldn't you? Next you'll want to braid my hair. Viserys said. You've no right to a braid, you've won no victories yet. Daenerys said. You do not talk back to me. He said as he slapped her hard across the face and she fell to the ground. He got on top of her to hit her again. You are a horse lord slut, and now you've awoken the dragon. Daenerys then grabbed the necklace he threw at her, which was on the ground, and hit him in the face with it, as he fell to his side in pain, and she got up. I am Khaleesi of the Dothraki. I am the wife of the great Khal, and I carry his son inside me. The next time you raise a hand to me, will be the last time you have hands. She threatened him as he left. Night had come and Viserys hadn't been seen since the incident. Daenerys was with Mormont in her tent discussing what happened hours ago. I hit him, I hit the dragon. Your brother Rhaegar was the last dragon. Viserys is less than the shadow of the same. Mormont said. He is still the true king. Daenerys said. Truth now. Do you want to see your brother sitting on the Iron Throne? Mormont asked. No. But the common people are waiting for him. Illyrio said they are sewing dragon banners and waiting for his return. Daenerys said. The common people pray for rain, health, and a summer that never ends. They don't care what games the High Lords play. Mormont said. What do you pray for, Ser Jorah? Daenerys asked. Home. He said. I pray for home too. My brother will never take back the 7 kingdoms. He couldn't lead an army even if my husband gave him one. They'll never take us home. She said. Ned was in his study as the joust was going on. He was reading into the book on the lineages of the 7 kingdoms, trying to find out why Jon Arryn was looking into this. He heard a knock and the door opened to reveal Jory, my lord, her grace, the queen. Jory announced as she walked in and he left. Your grace. Ned said. You're missing your tournament. Cersei said. Putting my name on it doesn't make it mine. Ned said. I thought we might put what happened on the King's Road behind us. That ugliness with the little fight, and dragging you into the hall like criminals, was a little extreme. But sometimes we go to extremes where our children are concerned. How is Sansa? Cersei asked. She likes it here. Ned said. She's the only Stark who does. Cersei said. What are you doing here? Ned asked. I might ask you the same of you. What is it you and that boy hope to accomplish? Cersei asked. That boy is named Naruto. And the king called upon us to serve him and the realm. And that's what I'll do until he tells me otherwise. Ned said. Well, you can't change him, you can't help him. He'll do what he wants, which is all he's ever done. You try your best to pick up the pieces. Cersei said. If that's my job, then so be it. Ned said. You're just a soldier, aren't you? Take your orders and you carry on. Suppose it makes sense, your older brother was trained to lead and you were trained to follow. She said. I was also trained to kill my enemies, your grace. Ned said. As was I. She said as she was about to leave, but stopped as she got to the door. By the way, my Joffrey has expressed desire to marry your daughter, Sansa. I see. Well, I'll have to talk to Sansa about that. Ned said. I know she'll say yes, but I've seen how she looks at that whiskered bodyguard of yours. I would advise you to tell him not to get too attached. There's nothing my son wants that he doesn't get. Cersei said as she left. Along the King's Road, between King's Landing and Winterfell, Catelyn and Naruto's clone met with Ser Roderick and were resting at an inn before they continued on to Winterfell. Cat and Roderick were inside, sitting at a table and eating some food while Naruto meditated outside. He needed to relax. Cat and Roderick were talking as a musician was walking through the inn, playing some music for guests in exchange for a few coins. Afternoon, folks. He said as he sat down next to Cat and Roderick. And to you. Cat said. A song while we wait. The man said. I'd rather throw myself down a well. Roderick said as Cat chuckled. Well then, grandfather. This is your last chance if you're heading up north. The only music the Northerners know is the howling of wolves. The man joked as Roderick saw Tyrion Lannister and his company walk in. Cat looked at Roderick as she saw the person who Baelish said owned the dagger that tried to kill her son. "I'm sorry, my lord. We're full up." The innkeeper said, "My men can sleep in the stable. As for myself, I don't require a large room." Tyrion told her. "Surely, my lord. We have nothing." She said, "Is there nothing I can do to remedy this?" Tyrion asked as he had some gold dragons in his hands. "You can have my room." A man said, "Now there's a clever man." Tyrion said as he handed the man the coin. "You can handle food, I trust. Jorian, dine with me." "Aye, my lord." Jorian said, "Lord of Lannister, may I entertain you while you eat? In honor of your father's victory in King's Landing." The musician said, "Nothing will more ruin my supper." Tyrion said, "Lady Stark, what an unexpected pleasure. I was sorry to miss you at Winterfell." Cat then got up to talk. "I was still Catelyn Tully the last time I stayed here." "You, sir, is that the black bat of Harrenhal I see embedded on your coat?" Cat asked a man. "It is, my lady." The man said, "And is Lady Wyn a true and honest friend to my father, Lord Hoster Tully of Riverrun?" Cat asked. "She is." The man said, "The Red Stallion was always a welcome sight at Riverrun. My father counts Jonas Bracken amongst his oldest and most trusted bannermen." Cat said to another man, "My lord is honored by his trust." The man replied, "I envy your father and all his fine friends, Lady Stark. But I don't quite see the purpose of this." Tyrion said as Cat looked at another man, "I know your sigil as well. The Twin Towers of Frey. How fares your lord, sir?" Cat asked. "Lord Walder is well, my lady. He has asked you father the honor of his presence on his 90th name day. Plans to take another wife." The man said, "Ha." Tyrion commented. Cat then went up to Tyrion. "This man came into my house as a guest and there conspired to murder my son, a boy of 10. In the name of King Robert and those good lords you serve, I call upon you to seize him and help me return him to Winterfell to await the king's justice." She said as the knights drew their swords and pointed them at Tyrion, who was confused and shocked. They then heard the door to the inn open and they saw Naruto enter. Naruto was shocked to see this, knights pointing their swords at Tyrion and Cat in the center. She must have acted. Naruto needed to defuse the situation quickly. "Stop. Lower your swords," Naruto said as he walked to up Tyrion. "I said lower your swords. We don't take orders from you." One of the knights said, "Cat, stop this." Naruto told her and he went up to her. "Naruto, he murdered Bran, it was his dagger." Cat said, "Just because it was his dagger doesn't mean he did it. He has no motive behind trying to kill Bran. I received some new information that may show us who the killer is, but I need Tyrion to help us and taking him prisoner is not helping." Naruto said, not wanting to tell her about Cersei and Jaime to prevent her from declaring war against the Lannisters. "Who then?" Cat asked. "I don't know, but I will find out, but you need to trust me, please." Naruto said, not wanting Cat to know in fear that if she knew she would do something rash. Cat didn't like the idea. "I have been with you and Ned for years and I have never steered you wrong. I am asking you to trust me here and have some faith." Naruto begged as Cat thought for a second. "All right, we'll do this your way." Cat said. "You heard him, lower your weapons." She ordered as they did and Tyrion exhaled in relief. "Thank you for that, Naruto." Tyrion said, "My pleasure, but I would ask the extension of your stay in the north for a while to clear up some matters." Naruto's clone said. Naruto was with Sansa still in the stands as Ned joined to watch the next two Justers after dissuaded Robert from riding, part because he was the king and no one would dare hurt him and the other because he was too fat for his armor. Naruto had to admit, Robert really let himself go. Naruto was lucky that not only he was in good shape from his training but thanks to Kurama and Kami, when he was sent to Westeros, he didn't really age that much. He pretty much looked the same as when he first came here, maybe a few years older and more defined in mature facial features, but that's about it. He got more mature, but he was still an idiot, at least that's what Kurama tells him. The crowd cheered as the mountain rode down the jousting court to the center stage to bow to the king. Ned looked around and noticed Arya missing. "Where is Arya?" "At her lessons," Sansa said. She then saw the next joust rider, the Knight of the Flowers. She said as they saw Loras Tyrell, one of the most skilled knights in the land, ride up to them. He rode up to Ned and Naruto and handed a rose to Sansa. "Thank you, Sir Loras," she said as Loras nodded to her, then looked up at Renly, who nodded him to get into position. Loras then rode up to the king and bowed, but the mountain's horse began to act erratically. The horse was neighing and moving rather erratically as Loras smiled while the mountain got control over his horse and rode to his corner. Both knights grabbed their shields and lances as they readied to joust. "Don't let Ser Gregor hurt him," Sansa said as she grabbed her father's arm. "I can't watch 100 gold dragons on the mountain," Baelish said to Renly. "I'll take that bet," Renly replied. "Now what will I buy with 100 gold dragons? A dozen barrels of Dornish wine, or a girl from the pleasure house of Lys," Baelish said. "You can even buy a friend," Renly said. "He's going to die," Sansa said to her father, not wanting to see another murder. "Ser Loras rides well," Ned said. The horn sounded as the two riders rode toward one another. The mountain's horse was still acting strange, and this gave Ser Loras the advantage, and he was able to spear and knock the mountain off his horse. Such a same little finger. "Would have been so nice for you to have a friend," Renly told him. "And tell me, Lord Renly, when will you be having your friend?" Lord Baelish asked, as he pointed to Ser Loras. The crowd cheered as Ser Loras rode to the king to soak in the adulation. Naruto noticed his demeanor before when he bowed to the king, and Kurama noticed a certain smell from the horse. Loras knew his mare was in heat. Quite crafty, really. Naruto said as Sansa, Ned, and Lord Baelish heard him. Ser Loras would never do that. "There's no honor in tricks," Sansa said. "No honor, but quite a bit of gold," Lord Baelish said. "I guess honor is dead," Naruto said. The mountain got back onto his feet and yanked off his helmet in anger. "Sword!" he yelled as Ser Loras rode to the king, waving. A squire ran to the mountain and handed him his sword, which he used to semi-decapitate and kill his horse to the crowd's shock. He then walks up to Loras and uses his sword to smack him off of his horse and onto the ground. The crowd was shocked to see the mountain attack him, but before the mountain could strike again or the hound could intervene, Naruto jumped from his seat and double spin kicked the mountain in the face, pushing him back. The crowd was in awe as they saw the skill at which Naruto protected Ser Loras. "Leave him be and stand down," Naruto ordered, but the mountain was undeterred. "Raf!" the mountain yelled as he charged at Naruto. Naruto ducked under the swipe to his head and stepped to the side as the mountain swung down. When the sword hit the ground, Naruto used his foot to keep the sword on the ground and delivered a right cross and then a knee to the face. The mountain growled in anger and used his strength to heave his sword up, causing Naruto to backflip away. Robert, Sansa, Ned, and the crowd watched as Naruto fought against the mountain. The mountain then charged at Naruto again, but Naruto decided to end the fight. The mountain thrust his sword forward, but Naruto channeled his chakra into his hands and feet and caught the mountain's sword with his bare hands to the crowd's shock. He was able to catch the sword of the mountain. Naruto then kicked his knee up hard, and with a show of strength he broke the sword in half and then spin kicked the mountain in the face, pushing him onto his back. Naruto then drew his sword and held it at the mountain's face. "Naruto, enough!" Robert ordered as Naruto reluctantly sheathed his sword, and the mountain got up, furious, and walked away, but the city guards got in front of him. "Let him go," Robert said as the guards let the mountain leave. Robert and Ned looked at Naruto, who just shrugged his shoulders. The hound nodded to Naruto in respect, and Naruto nodded back. Ser Loras got off the ground and walked to Naruto. "I owe you my life, Ser," Loras said. "I'm no Ser," Naruto said. Loras then grabbed Naruto's hand and held it up high as the crowd cheered at his bravery and skill. Sansa stood up and clapped, and so did Renly, while Ned just shook his head but smiled and clapped with the rest of the crowd. Loras held Naruto's hand up high as the crowd cheered for him over his victory against the mountain and for saving Ser Loras. Back with Cat, Naruto's clone, and Tyrion, they had departed from the King's Road and were now on a dirt path somewhere else. They were not resting by a creek to rest their horses and rest themselves. Along with Tyrion was the man back at the inn who gave Tyrion his room, now known as Bran. He was following Tyrion for some excitement and possibly more coin. Tyrion seemed confused at where they were. "Why are we here? I thought we were riding for Winterfell," Tyrion said to Naruto as they sat down to rest. "A slight change of plans. We now ride for the Vale of Arryn. There are some matters that need to be cleared up, and I believe now that Winterfell is not so secret as I would like. Plus, everyone would assume we would ride for Winterfell, but we won't," Naruto said as he handed Tyrion a pouch of wine. "Ah, very clever," Tyrion said. "But Tyrion, I apologize for what Lady Stark accused you of back at the inn," Naruto said. "It's quite all right. I'm just glad someone doesn't think lower of me," Tyrion said. "Lady Stark never did like the Lannisters, but she does care for her children as any mother should. And I've come to like you, Tyrion. And killing a Bran with your dagger doesn't make sense," Naruto said. "At least someone in our company is smart enough to realize the facts. Although I'm not sure how my family will react to the little incident at the inn," Tyrion said. "Hopefully we can settle this matter before any real damage can be done," Naruto said as Tyrion handed him back his pouch of wine. But then the musician of the company was hit in the face with a large rock. Then hill-tribe bandits attacked the group. Several were in the hills, using sling sleeves to hurl rocks, while others had swords and charged. "Stay low and don't move," Naruto said as he fired an arrow and killed a slinger. He moved Tyrion to the side and gave him a shield to cover himself as Naruto fired several more arrows in rapid succession, killing the slingers. Ser Roderick drew his sword and shield as he moved Cat to the rock cover as well. Some of the Winterfell guards were killed by the hill tribe people, but then Bran drew his sword. He blocked a slash and then stabbed the bandit in the neck and kicked him away. He then slashed the stomach of another bandit, and when a third bandit charged at him, he just threw him over his shoulder and stabbed him to the ground. Naruto shot 2 arrows, killing 2 more bandits as 3 charged at him. He drew his sword and ducked under a sword swipe, kicked a bandit in the chest, parried and blocked a slash, and then headbutted the third bandit and sliced his neck, killing him. The second bandit charged at Naruto, but Naruto cut off the bandit's sword arm and slashed his back. The first bandit was then skewered as Naruto thrusts his sword into the bandit's stomach. Tyrion then saw that Cat was under attack, and even though a guard tried to stop the bandit, he was quickly killed, so Tyrion decided to act. He charged at the bandit and smacked him in the stomach with the shield, which caused the bandit to fall to his knees in pain. Tyrion then smacked the bandit in the face with the shield and continued to smack the bandit in the face, as blood spilled out his head. Ser Roderick killed another bandit, but one was able to slash at his back. Roderick stalled in pain for a bit, but then shield smashed him in the face and Naruto threw a shuriken into his head, killing him. Bran then slit the throat of the final bandit as all of the Wild Tribe bandits were dead and several of the Stark guards were killed as well. Bran grabbed his sword and sheathed it as Naruto looked around, making sure there weren't any more as Roderick groaned in pain. "Roderick," Cat said. "I'll be fine, my lady. There's no need to bloody yourself," he said. "You're first?" Bran asked Tyrion as Tyrion nodded. "You need a woman." "Nothing like a woman after a fight," Bran said as they looked at Cat. "Well, I'm willing if she is," Tyrion joked as Bran laughed and Naruto walked by. "Gather our supplies and be quick. Let's get out of here," Naruto said as everyone nodded. Back in King's Landing, Arya was chasing cats for part of her training while Naruto was off doing work. Ned was in his study talking with Lord Varys. "How is your son, my lord?" Varys asked as he shut the window. "He's doing better. Naruto was lucky enough to save him before anything bad could happen," Ned said as he signed some papers. "But his mind is sound," Varys said. "So, they say," Ned said as he saw Varys close another door. "A blessing then." "I suffered an early mutilation myself. Some doors remained closed forever, others remain open in the most unexpected of places," Varys said as he closed the door. "May I?" Varys said as he pointed to the chair. Ned nodded and Varys sat down. If the wrong ear heard what I'm about to tell you, off comes my head. And who would mourn poor Varys then? North or south, they sing no songs for spiders. But there are things you must know. You are the king's hand, and the king is a fool. Varys said as Ned was surprised to hear that. Your friend I know, but a fool. And doomed unless you save him. I've been in the capital a month. Why have you waited so long to tell me this? Ned asked. I didn't trust you. Varys said. Why do you trust me now? Ned asked. The queen isn't the only one who has been watching you closely. There are few men of honor in the capital. You are one of them, and I would like to consider myself one of them, strange as it may seem. Varys said. What sort of doom does the king face? Ned asked. The same sort as Jon Arryn, the tears of Lys, they call it. A rare and costly thing. It's clear and tasteless as water, it leaves no trace. Varys said as Ned thought for a second. Who gave it to him? Ned asked. Some dear friend, no doubt, but which one? There were many. Lord Arryn was a kind and trusting man. There was one boy, all he owed to Jon Arryn. Varys said. The squire, Ser Hugh. Ned said as Varys nodded. Pity what happened to him. Just when his life seemed to be going so nicely. Varys said. If Ser Hugh poisoned him, who paid Ser Hugh? Ned asked as Varys didn't have an answer. Someone who could afford it. Varys said. Jon was a man of peace. He was hand for 17 years, 17 good years. Why kill him? Ned asked. He started asking questions. Varys said. Arya had followed the cat throughout the palace and she had found her way to the dungeon under the castle where many of the great dragon skulls were kept. She walked to the skull, marveling at the size, but then she heard people talking. Then a pair of hands reached out and grabbed her and she would have screamed, but her mouth was covered. She looked to see it was Naruto who grabbed her and he was motioning her to remain quiet and she nodded. Naruto then let her go and placed a recording seal on a dragon tooth and put some blood on it, to activate it. We will be at war soon, my friend. Varys said. What good is war now, we're not ready. If one hand can die, why not the second? Magister Illyrio said. This hand is not the other. He is more resilient, not to mention that blonde-haired bodyguard of his will become a great nuisance in the future. Varys said. We need time. Khal Drogo will not make his move until his son is born, you know how these savages are. Magister Illyrio said. Delay these savages. This is no longer a game. Varys said as they kept walking and were out of hearing range. Arya slowly stepped out as Naruto stepped out with her and grabbed his recording seal. Ha, got you, you spider. Naruto said as he pocketed the seal. Come on, Arya. Let's go. Naruto said as he led Arya back to the palace. In the throne room, Lord Baelish was staring at the thrones as Lord Varys entered the room. The first to arrive and the last to leave. I admire your industry. Varys said. You do move quietly. Lord Baelish said. We all have our qualities. Varys said. You look a bit lonely today. You should pay visit to my brothel this evening. First whore is on the house. Baelish said. I think you are mistaking business with pleasure. Varys said. Am I? All those birds that whisper in your ear, such pretty little things. Trust me, we accommodate all inclinations. Baelish said. Oh, I'm sure. Lord Varys said as the two discusses the secrets and logistics of their business. The two spy masters of King's Landing discuss and played a little game of words and lies and secrets as the two discussed the various pieces of knowledge they knew. They then had to go to the small council meeting because King Robert would be coming. Naruto was able to get Arya back into the palace and she asked what was going on. Naruto told her to stay in her room and don't leave unless he, her father, or a loyal Stark bodyguard got her. She nodded as Naruto left to find Ned. He did, but the two were quickly whisked away to the council meeting with Robert. Apparently, it was a matter of great importance, concerning the Targaryens. The whore is pregnant. Robert told Ned and Naruto. You're speaking of murdering a child. Ned said. I warned you this would happen, back in the north. I warned you, but you didn't care to hear. Well, hear it now. I want them dead, mother and child both. And that fool Viserys as well. Is that plain enough for you? I want them both dead. Robert told Ned. You'll dishonor yourself forever if you do this. Ned said. Honor? I've got 7 kingdoms to rule. 1 king, 7 kingdoms. Do you think honor keeps them in line? Do you think it's honor keeping the peace, it's fear? Fear and blood. Robert said. Then we're no better than the Mad King. Ned said. Careful, Ned, careful now. Robert said. You want to assassinate a little girl, because the spider heard a rumor. Ned said. No rumor, my lord. The princess is with child. Varys said. Based on whose information? Ned asked. Ser Jorah Mormont. Varys said. And Magister Illyrio, isn't that right, Varys? Naruto said as the others were confused and Varys tried to keep a cool head. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't understand. Lord Varys said, trying to keep up the charade. The spider has been out-tricked by the fox. You've met with Magister Illyrio, supporter of House Targaryen, and have been working with him to wage war against Westeros. You want the Targaryens to retake the throne and you would kill Ned to do it. Naruto shouted as he threw a seal on the table and it activated and played the message he recorded. We will be at war soon, my friend. Varys said. What good is war now? We're not ready. If one hand can die, why not the second? Magister Illyrio said. This hand is not the other. He is more resilient, not to mention that blonde-haired bodyguard of his would become a great nuisance in the future. Varys said. We need time. Khal Drogo will not make his move until his son is born, you know how these savages are. Magister Illyrio said. The message played as Naruto smirked, Varys was shocked and so were the other council members and Robert was furious. You traitorous cunt! Robert yelled as he punched Varys to the ground. My lord, let me explain, guards, take this man to the dungeons. I will have his head soon enough. Robert yelled as 2 guards came in and dragged Varys away. Naruto smiled knowing that the spider was put away and that any attempt to conspire was foiled, but Jorah was still in Essos. Traitorous bastard, trying to deceive me. Robert yelled. Well, now this doesn't bode well. The Targaryen girl is with child. Pycelle said. And when she has a son. A Targaryen at the head of a Dothraki army, what then? Robert asked. Despite the traitor, he has given us a perfect opportunity. We can kill her now before they have a chance to come here. The narrow sea still lies between us. I'll fear the Dothraki when they teach their horses to ride on water. Ned said. Do nothing. That's your wise advice, do nothing until our enemies are at our shores? Robert yelled in anger. You're my counsel. Speak sense to this honorable fool. I bear this girl no ill will, but should the Dothraki invade? How many innocents will die, how many towns will burn? Is it not wiser, kinder even that she should die now so that tens of thousands might live? Pycelle said. We should have had them both killed years ago. Renly said. When you find yourself in bed with an ugly woman, it's best to close your eyes and get it over with. Cut her throat, be done with it. Baelish said. Ned then walked up to Robert. I followed you into war, twice. Without doubts, without second thoughts. But I will not follow you now. The Robert the First grew up with didn't tremble in the shadow of an unborn child, Ned said. She dies. Robert said. I will have no part in it. Ned said. You're the king's hand, Lord Stark. You will do as you're told or I will find a hand who can. Robert said as Ned took off the hand button he had and gave it back to Robert. And good luck to him. I thought you were a better man. Ned said as Robert stood up. Out. Out. Damn you, I'm done with you. Robert yelled as Naruto left with Ned. Go, run back to Winterfell. I'll have your head on a spike. I'll put it there myself, you fool. Robert kept yelling. Naruto was with Ned, packing away things for the trip back. Naruto created 2 clones to look after Sansa and Arya. Jory then entered to see Ned and Naruto packing things away. Get the men ready, Don't ask for help, do it yourself. Ned told Jory. Right away, my lord. Lord Baelish is here for you. Jory said as Baelish walked in. His Grace went on about you in some length, after you took your leave. He does offer his gratitude in capturing the traitor, Varys. His head will be on a spike by tomorrow. Baelish said. What can I do for you? Ned asked. When do you return to Winterfell? Baelish asked. Why, what do you care? Ned asked. If you're still here come nightfall, I'll take you to the last person Jon Arryn spoke to before falling ill. If that sort of thing still interests you. Baelish said. I don't have the time. Ned said. It won't take more than an hour, but as you please. Baelish said as he was leaving, and Ned came to a decision to follow. He nodded to Naruto, who grabbed his sword and spoke to Jory. Round up all the men we have and station them outside the girls' chambers. Who are your best 2 swords? Ned asked. Huggart and Will. Jory said. Find them and meet me at the stables. Ned said as he and Naruto left with Lord Baelish. Naruto, Cat and Tyrion walked into the castle that once belonged to Jon Arryn but now was in control of his wife, Cat's sister. When they arrived, Naruto felt very uncomfortable in the place, and when they saw Lisa sitting on her throne with her son who was at least the age of 4 or higher, breastfeeding, Naruto felt sick. There was something off about her. She was unstable as Naruto could tell, but that's about it since he didn't really keep a clone up in the Vale because he didn't think it was necessary. She was Cat's sister and she trusted her, so Naruto just went with that, but now he was starting to reconsider. How dare you bring him here, without permission? You pollute my home with his presence. Your aunt has done a bad thing, Robin, a very bad thing. You remember her, don't you? Isn't he beautiful, and strong too? Jon knew it. His last words were the seed is strong. He wanted everyone to know what a good strong boy his son would grow up to be. Look at him, the lord of all the Vale. Lisa said as she adored her son, while Naruto, Tyrion, and Cat thought she was a little crazy. Lady Lisa, we have only come here to clear up some matters. Tyrion is not responsible for the death of your husband, and I would like to clear that up with you so you may have some peace of mind. Naruto said. Lisa didn't seem moved. Mommy, is that a bad man? Robin asked. It is. She said. He's little. Robin said. He's Tyrion, the imp of House Lannister. He killed your father, he murdered the hand of the king. Lisa said. Lady Lisa, Tyrion is not responsible. Naruto said. Oh, have I killed him too? I've been a very bad man. Tyrion joked. You will watch your tongue. These men are the Knights of the Vale. They all love Jon Arryn and they would die for me. Lisa said. But if they touch me, my brother Jaime will see that they do. Tyrion said. You can't hurt. No one can hurt us. Tell him, Mommy, tell him. Robin screamed. Tyrion, please. You're not helping. Naruto said. She doesn't seem to want to listen. Tyrion said. Ser Vardis. My sister's guess is weary, take him down below so he can rest. Introduce him to Mord. Lisa said as the knight came up to him. Lady Lisa, please. You don't need to do this. Naruto said, trying to get her to stop. Silence, boy, you have no power here. My sister may have favor for you, but here you have nothing. She said as Naruto watched Tyrion get taken away. Ned, Naruto and Jory had arrived at the brothel to find that the person Jon Arryn saw was a prostitute and her newborn child, the bastard daughter of King Robert. She looks like him, don't she, my lord? She has his nose, his black hair. The whore known as Nhagen said. Aye. Ned said. Tell him when you see him, my lord. If it please you, tell him how beautiful she is. She said. I will. Ned said. And tell him, I've been with no one else. I swear it, my lord, by the old gods and new. I don't want no jewels or nothing, just him. The king was always good to me. She said. When Jon Arryn came to visit you, what did he want? Naruto asked. He wasn't that sort of man, my lord. He just wanted to know if the child was happy, healthy. She said. Looks healthy enough to me. A girl should want for nothing. Ned said as he left. Naruto thanked her and left too to see Lord Baelish with two of his whores. Brothels make a better investment than ships, I found. Whores rarely sink. Baelish said as he went up to Ned. What do you know of King Robert's bastards? Ned asked. Well, he has more than you, for a start. Baelish said. How many? Ned asked. Does it matter? If you fuck enough women, some of them will give you presents. Baelish said. And Jon Arryn tracked them all down, why? Ned asked. He was the king's hand. Perhaps King Robert wanted them looked after, perhaps he was overcome with fatherly love. Baelish said. I think I may know why. Naruto said as Ned looked at him. But I will need to make sure. Let's go. Naruto said as they left, but Jory was standing still, entranced by the prostitute with the giant tits. Jory. Ned said, getting his attention. My lord. Jory said, snapping back to reality. When Ned, Naruto and Jory walked outside the whorehouse, a whole bunch of Lannister guards were waiting for them. Ned, stay back. Naruto said as he and Jory got in front. Jaime Lannister then rode to the whorehouse. Such a small pack of wolves. Jaime said as he got off his horse. Stay back, sir. This is the hand of the king. Jory said. Was the hand of the king? Now I'm not sure what he is. Lord of somewhere very far away. Jaime said. What's the meaning of this, Lannister? Baelish asked as he stepped outside to see the armed guards. Get back inside, where it's safe. I'm looking for my brother. You remember my brother, don't you, Lord Stark? Jaime asked. Blonde hair, sharp tongue, short man. I remember him well. Ned said. Seems he had some trouble on the road. You wouldn't know what happened to him, would you? Jaime asked. He's in no trouble. He was merely asked a few more moments of his time in the north. He will be returned when the matter is settled. He was more than cooperative. I guess there is only one good Lannister in your house. Naruto said as Jaime unsheathed his sword and the guards readied their spears. My lords. Baelish tried to stop the matter but Ned stopped him. I'll bring the city watch. He said as he went back inside. Come on, I'd rather you two die with sword in hand. Jaime said. If you threaten my lord again. Jory warned. Threaten? As in I'm going to open your lord from balls to brain and see what Starks are made of. Jaime said. You kill me, and your brother is a dead man. Ned warned. You're right. Take him alive, kills his men. Jaime ordered his two guards threw their spears, killing two Stark guards, leaving just Jory, Ned, and Naruto. Ned drew his sword as Naruto caught a spear that was thrown at him. He then impaled a guard that ran at him, then used the spear to block a sword slash and kicked the guard away. He pulled the spear out of the dead guard and then spun and delivered a wide spear swipe and hit 3 guards in the head with the spear. He then broke the spear in half and used the wooden part to block a spear thrust and stabbed the guard in the neck with the spear tip. He then used the broken spear as a scream of sticks and fought off the 3 guards that attacked him. He used the spear tip to block a sword and then used the other part to break the back of the soldier's knee, causing the soldier to fall to the ground in pain. Naruto then stabbed the spear tip into the soldier's head, killing him and then quickly pulled it out to block 2 sword swipes down. Naruto then kicked the 2 guards away and threw the 2 broken spear parts into the necks of the soldiers, killing them. Jory had just killed 3 guards and attacked Jaime Lannister, but Jaime locked swords with him, pulled out a dagger and stabbed him in the eye. Ned finished killing a guard and saw Jory die, with a dagger in his head. Jaime then pointed his sword at Ned, but Naruto drew Kyuubi and got in front of Ned. Stay away from him. Naruto warned the Kingslayer as the black steel of Kyuubi shined from the sun. Move away, boy. Or you'll be next. Jaime warned Naruto. Give me your best shot. Naruto taunted as Jaime attacked Naruto with a downward slash as Naruto blocked it and then pushed Jaime back. Another guard attacked Ned as Ned fought back while Jaime and Naruto fought each other. Jaime thrusts his sword at Naruto, who deflected it and then swung at Jaime's head, but Jaime blocked it and spun around Naruto as a guard ran at Naruto with a spear. Naruto blocked the spear and sliced the neck of the guard, killing him, and when he turned around, Jaime came at him with a wide swing, but Naruto ducked and elbowed Jaime in the back, pushing him forward. "What's wrong, Kingslayer? Is it harder to kill someone when the person doesn't have their back turned?" Naruto taunted as Jaime got back up and charged at Naruto. Jaime swung at Naruto, slicing, slashing and stabbing, but Naruto kept blocking and parrying, never once letting an attack get close. Jaime was beginning to get frustrated as the boy kept blocking and it was taking too long. Naruto then blocked a downward slash and the two locked swords. Naruto then headbutted Jaime as the Kingslayer was forced back by the action and groaned in pain. Naruto then spin-kicked Jaime in the face, knocking him to the ground. Naruto turned to see Ned fighting off the last 3 Lannister guards. He holds his own, but the third guard was able to stab him in the knee. Ned falls down in pain, but before another strike could be done, Naruto flashes over to Ned, via the Hyrician seal on Ned's shirt, and kills the 3 remaining guards. Naruto moved to Ned and pulls the spear out as Ned groaned in pain. Jaime gets up to see that Naruto has his back turned. He grabs his sword and charges at Naruto. Just before the sword could stab through, Naruto spins around and with a chakra-infused swing, he swung up, breaking Jaime's sword and slashing a small part of his chest and cheek. Naruto then punches Jaime to the ground and punched him repeatedly, 5 or 6 times. Naruto then stopped, seeing the guards dead and Ned wounded. He looks at Jaime and saw that the wounds he received are small and non-lethal, but they hurt. He then grabbed Jaime's collar and pulled him close. "Do not think this a kindness. I spare you today not out of fear of what your family will do, but out of pity. You are not a knight. And your family will get what they deserve, dishonor and ruin. You, your sister, and your son, Joffrey." Naruto said to Jaime, shocking the Kingslayer that the boy knew that Joffrey was not Robert's child. Naruto let go of Jaime and went over to help Ned. He picked him up and took him back to the castle to tend to Ned's wound. Jaime stumbled up and grabbed his horse and rode away. Time had passed after the fight outside the brothel. Ned had fallen asleep due to his wounds as Naruto tended to him. King Robert and Queen Cersei barged into Ned's room, with Cersei demanding to have Ned and Naruto punished for killing her family guards and attacking her brother. Robert wanted to hear Naruto's and Ned's side of the story. Naruto told Robert what happened, and despite Cersei's demands to have them arrested, Robert was going to wait until Ned woke up. Back in the Vale, Tyrion was locked in one of the 3-walled jail cells where the 4th wall was gone, leaving no barrier if the prisoner accidentally fell or tripped and would fall to his death. Naruto continued to try and reason with Lady Lisa, but she wouldn't budge. She was crazy, really. Naruto felt that she was unstable, and that there was more going on with her than he knew. Naruto could not help Tyrion, he would have to wait for her to let things proceed. He couldn't intervene or else upsetting Lisa and the Knights of the Vale. Meanwhile, in V's Dothraki, Daenerys was in her tent looking over at the dragon eggs she was given. They were incredible, hard as stone but colored and with scales. She felt something when she held it, something extraordinary. She wondered if they could hatch if she exposed them to heat. She went to the fire in her tent, which had died and were not a pile of hot coals. She sat down next to the fire and set the egg right in the middle of the coals. She sat back and watched with hopeful intent to see if the egg would hatch. One of her handmaidens walked in to see her staring at the egg in the bed of coals. Daenerys then grabbed the egg from the fire and the maiden quickly rushed to her side to take the hot egg away from her, but got burned because the egg was so hot. They looked in awe at Daenerys's hands were completely fine, no burns at all, but the maiden's hands were burned. "You're burnt," Daenerys said. Daenerys realized that she couldn't be harmed by fire, and that she was a true Targaryen. Back in Westeros, in King's Landing, Ned Stark began to awaken. He groaned in discomfort as he opened his eyes to see that he was in his chambers in the castle. His vision was still slightly blurry from having been asleep for a while, but his vision quickly readjusted to see Naruto sitting by his side, Queen Cersei with a very angry look on her face, and Robert in front of her. "Your pardon, your grace. I would rise, but I'm afraid I am unable to at the moment," Ned said as he tried to sit up, but Naruto motioned him not to. "Easy, Ned. Don't move too much," Naruto said. "Do you realize what that boy of yours has done?" Cersei asked him. "He did nothing I did not command," Ned said, trying to protect Naruto. It's all right, Ned. As I told your brother Jaime, Tyrion was simply asked for an extended stay in the north to clear up some matters. That is all. Naruto said as Cersei began to argue with him, but Robert shut her up. Enough. Naruto, have Tyrion be returned soon and you will make peace with Jaime. Robert told Naruto and Ned, he butchered my men. Ned said, Lord Stark was returning drunk from a brothel when his men attacked Jaime. Cersei said, quiet. Robert told her, hold your tongue. Ned would never, and your brother attacked us with a group of your houseguard. They should have known better than to follow a command fueled by mindless anger and speculation. Naruto told Cersei, and she was furious that the boy talked to her like that. Think of it as a kindness that I didn't kill him when he attacked us. I've killed men for far worse. Enough, Naruto. Robert told him, trying to prevent Queen Cersei from getting even more angry. Cersei looked at Robert with disgust at how docile he was in handling these two. I took you for a king. Cersei mocked him. Hold your tongue. Robert ordered her. They attacked one of my brothers and abducted the other. I should wear the armor and you the gown. Cersei mocked him as Robert looked at her in anger and slapped her hard across the face. She touched her cheek where Robert slapped her. I shall wear it like a badge of honor. Wear it in silence or I'll do it again. Robert warned her. She left. Saw what she does to me. My loving wife. I should not have hit her. That was not kingly. Robert said as he drank some wine, but much needed. No offense, Robert, but you have let her drag you like an animal on a leash. Naruto told him as Robert took offense to that. Mind your tongue. You may be my friend, but you're still speaking to the king. Robert warned him, and a good king would heed much needed advice. When Ned and I first came here, the Lannisters had you and this whole city around their finger. 6 million gold dragons in debt? Had I not come, the Lannisters would own half the kingdom. Robert, you need realize the fact that being a king means that you need to put your kingdom and your people before your own selfish needs and vendettas. Naruto told him. Naruto, enough. Ned told him, trying to calm Naruto down. I should put a blade through your heart for raising your voice to me, but you're right. I never loved my brothers, did you know that? Sad thing for a man to admit, but it's true. You two were the brothers I chose. We'll talk more when I return from the hunt. Robert said as he threw the hand of the king badge to Ned. The hunt? Ned asked. Killing things clears my head. Lets me think more clearly about things that have been said. You'll have to sit on the throne until I return. You'll hate it more than I do. Robert told Ned as he left. Naruto exhaled in exhaustion as he put his head in his hands. Man, this is tiring. Naruto said. Naruto, thank you for the assistance. Ned said, referring to his wound, the fight outside the brothel, and in dealing with Robert and Cersei. Don't mention it. It's starting to become my job to look after the Starks. Naruto joked as he and Ned laughed. But I'm glad you're all right. I've had the rest of the men make arrangements to have Jory and the others buried, and Sansa and Arya are safe. Thank you. It appears that we are to stay in King's Landing. Ned said. Shame, I would have liked to return to Winterfell. But I'm somewhat glad. Naruto said. Why? Ned asked. Because the longer we stay here, the more we can change King's Landing. I fear that if we don't not do something soon, this kingdom will fall to ruin. Naruto said as Ned absorbed what he said. Naruto, when we were at the brothel, you said you may know why Jon Arryn was killed. Why was he? Ned asked. Something to do with the Lannisters. Naruto said as he looked at the condition Ned was in. Ned needed to rest more. But that can wait a while longer while you get your strength back. I have made precautions to ensure that everyone is looked after. For now, get your strength back first, I fear you will need it in the days to come. Naruto said, foreboding that something bad was going to happen to the Starks. In V's Dothraki, Daenerys was called by the Dothraki, the wives of former Khals who were slain in battle. Daenerys was brought to their sacred tent and must eat a stallion's heart while the Dothraki reads the omens that will foretell what her child will be destined to accomplish. Drogo and many others were in attendance to watch, including Ser Jorah Mormont and Viserys, who was rather disgusted by the whole ritual. Daenerys started off slowly as she began to eat the heart. She tore into the raw heart and ate away as Drogo watched her. The taste was horrible, but she was strong and willed herself to keep going. She has to eat the whole heart? Viserys asked Mormont, who nodded yes. Hope that wasn't my horse. She is doing well. Mormont said, watching the progress she was making. She'll never keep it down. Viserys said. Daenerys kept going, determined not to stop as the rest of the Dothraki chanted along. The head Catelyn was saying something that Viserys didn't understand. Tell me what she's saying? The prince is riding. I've heard the thunder of his hooves, swift as the wind he rides. His enemies will cower before him. Their wives will weep tears of blood. She's going to have a boy. Mormont said as Viserys was surprised. He won't be a real Targaryen. He won't be a true dragon. Viserys said, feeling threatened. Daenerys finished the last of the heart and was trying to keep it down. She then bent forward, gagging as everyone was silent to see if she couldn't keep the heart down, but she did. She willed herself and she regained her composure and stood up. Khal Drogo smiled, seeing his wife strong and that she was able to successfully complete the ritual. The head Catelyn then spoke as Mormont translated again. The stallion that mounts the world. The stallion is the Khal of Khals, he shall unite the people into a single Khalasar. All the people of the world shall be his herd. Mormont said. Daenerys then stood up and spoke Dothraki to her people, declaring that her son would be named Rhaego, in honor of her brother Rhaegar, who was slain by Robert Baratheon. The Dothraki then began to chant the prince's name as Drogo and walked up to her. Viserys saw that everyone looked up to her and were chanting for her. They love her. Viserys said as Drogo lifted her up and the people's chanting continued. She truly has become a queen today. Mormont said as he looked to Viserys, but Viserys had left. Viserys ran back to his tent and grabbed his sword and a bag. He then went to Daenerys' tent and opened the chest that held the 3 dragon eggs. He marveled at the eggs and then put them in his bag. After he put the first egg in, he heard the tent flap open and quickly got to his feet and was prepared to pull his sword out, but saw it was only Mormont. Don't let them see you carry a sword in V's Dothrak, you know the law. Mormont told Viserys. It's not my law. Viserys said as he put the rest of the eggs into his bag. They don't belong to you. Mormont said. Whatever is hers is also mine. Viserys said. Once perhaps. Mormont said. If I sell 1 egg, I'll have enough to buy a ship. 2 eggs, a ship and an army. Viserys said. And you have all 3. Mormont commented. I need a large army. I'm the last hope for a dynasty, Mormont. The greatest dynasty this world has ever seen on my shoulders since I was 5 years old. And no one has ever given me what they gave her in that tent. Never. Not a piece of it. How can I carry what I need to carry without it? Who can rule without wealth or fear or love? Ha, you stand there all nobility and honor, you don't think I see you looking at my little sister, Don't think I know what you want. I don't care, you can have her. She can be queen of the savages and dine on the finest horse hearts, and you can dine on whatever parts of her you like. But let me go. Viserys said as he tried to leave, but Mormont got in front of him. You can go, you can't have the eggs. Mormont told him. You swore an oath to me. Does loyalty mean nothing to you? Viserys asked. It means everything to me. Mormont said. And yet here you stand. Viserys said. And yet here I stand. Mormont said. Viserys got frustrated until he finally left the eggs. He then stomped out of the tent like a spoiled child. In the Vale, Tyrion was banging on the door to his sky cell in an effort to get the jailer, Mord, to let him out. Tyrion kept banging on the door, wanting to get to a room where at least there were 4 walls and no chance of falling to his death. He then heard a pair of footsteps and then heard someone get knocked against the wall and collapse. He heard the door unlock to see Naruto open it with the keys. Naruto, what are you doing? Tyrion asked. Coming to get you. I was able to convince Cat to let Lady Lisa plead your case before her and get you a chance at leaving. Naruto told him. Thank you. Tyrion thanked Naruto, but then saw Mord on the ground. What happened to him? He tripped. Naruto said as Tyrion looked at him. What, he was an idiot and he got in my way. Naruto joked as he led Tyrion to the main room where he was going to speak to Lady Lisa. Naruto and Tyrion walked into the main room of the Vale Castle where Lady Lisa was sitting on the high chair, Cat was standing next to her and many of the other nobles were in the room as well as many knights and Bran. Tyrion began to recount all of his various crimes, but not the kind that people were expecting to hear. He told tales of his various lies, sexual escapades, and the practical jokes he has played. Naruto and Bran were chuckling as he told the tales while this disgusted the nobles. Silence. What do you think you are doing? Lisa asked in anger. Confessing my crimes. Tyrion said. Lord Tyrion, you are accused of conspiring to kill my sister's husband, Lord Jon Arryn, the Hand of the King. Cat told him. Oh, I'm very sorry. I don't know anything about all that. Tyrion said. You've had your little joke, I trust you enjoyed it. Mord, take him back to the dungeon, this time find him a smaller cell, with a steeper floor. Lisa ordered. Mord walked up to him, but then Naruto walked forward and Mord froze in his tracks as he saw the death and anger in Naruto's eyes. Mord was frozen in fear as Tyrion saw this and used this to his advantage. Is this how justice is done in the Vale? You accuse me of a crime, I deny them, so you throw me into a cell to freeze and starve. Where is the king's justice? I am accused and demand a trial. Tyrion said as everyone in the chamber started to agree with him. Tyrion had the right to a trial. Naruto saw this and smiled. He had to admit, Tyrion was crafty. If you're tried and found guilty, then by the king's own law you will pay with your life. Lisa said. I understand the law. Tyrion said. We have no executioner in the Vale, life is more elegant here. Open the moon door. Lisa ordered as a servant turned a wheel and the metal gate in the center of the room opened up to reveal his execution if he should be found guilty, a one-way ticket to the ground. You want a trial, Lord Lannister, very well. My son will listen to whatever you had to say and you will hear his judgment. Then you will leave, by one door or the other. Lisa said. No need to bother, Lord Robin. I demand a trial by combat. Tyrion said as the knights in the room chuckled. Lisa was confused, but she couldn't do anything. You have that right. Lisa said. Soon one after another, every knight in the room wanted the honor to kill the imp. Robin was growing impatient as he wanted to see someone fly. Make the bad man fly. Robin yelled. Spoiled brat. Naruto thought. If there was one thing he didn't like about Westeros, it was the overinflated sense of superiority that these people seemed to have. Right there with you, Kit. Kurama told him. Ser Vardis, you are quiet. Don't you want to avenge my husband? Lisa asked. With all my heart, my lady. But the imp is half my size, shameful to slaughter such a man and call it justice. Vardis said. Agreed. Tyrion commented. You demanded a trial by combat. Lisa said. Now I demand a champion. I have that right, same as you. Tyrion said. My lady, I would gladly fight the imp's champion, for you. Vardis said. I wouldn't be too glad, sir. I name my brother, Jaime Lannister. Tyrion said as everyone was shocked to hear him say the name of the Kingslayer. The Kingslayer is hundreds of miles from here. Lisa said. Send a raven for him. I'm happy to wait. Tyrion said. The trial will be today. Lisa said with a smile, defusing Tyrion's plan to wait for his trial. Do I have a volunteer? Tyrion asked as everyone laughed. No one would volunteer against Ser Vardis. I volunteer. Naruto said as he stepped forward and everyone talked amongst themselves, wondering why this man would fight for the imp. Naruto, please. Cat begged him not to do it. It's all right, Cat. I must do this, to make amends for my mistake. Naruto told her. Lord Tyrion, I volunteer to be your champion. Naruto said as Tyrion smiled. Naruto then looked at Bran, who was about to volunteer before Naruto beat him to the punch. Next time, he's yours. Naruto joked as Bran chuckled. Alright then, I have my champion. Let the trial commence. Tyrion said as Lisa nodded and everyone moved away from the center as the two warriors stood in the center. Lord Vardys had several men come to give him his armor, sword, and shield. Naruto had Ser Roderick take his bow and quiver, leaving him with just his sword. A squire came up to Naruto and handed him a shield, but Naruto didn't want it. Are you sure you can do this? Tyrion asked Naruto. More than likely. Naruto joked as Tryon looked at him. If I die, we'll see each other soon enough. Naruto said as he stepped forward as Lord Vardys was ready. Lord Vardys put down the face guard of his helmet and strapped on his shield as he stood ready. Naruto drew Kyuubi from its sheath as Tyrion marveled at the black shine of the steel. Everyone else backed away as the two men were the only ones in the center. Lord Robin then stood up, excited and yelled, "Fight!" Ser Vardys walked forward, his armor creaking and the sound of his metal footsteps filled the hall as he charged at Naruto. He swung down as Naruto blocked the strike and pushed the sword away. Ser Vardys swung wide at Naruto, but Naruto just moved backwards. Vardys moved forward, swing after swing as Naruto just moved backwards. Naruto could tell that the knight was just swinging wildly. With the armor on, it gave him better protection but restricted his movements. Vardys stabbed forward as Naruto blocked the strike and backed away from a swing as Vardys pushed him towards the wall. Vardys then prepared a huge downward slash in an attempt to cleave Naruto in two, but Naruto just moved to the side and kicked Ser Vardys into the wall. Naruto backed away as Ser Vardys composed himself after being kicked into the wall. Hey kid, do you need help dealing with this guy? Kurama asked. Not really, I'm pretty sure I got this covered, but I wouldn't mind your advice, for old time's sake. Naruto replied. Well, if I think I know what you're doing, then you're just going to tire this guy out. In all that armor and wild swings, his stamina is going to go fast. Then a quick slash to the neck and he's done for. Kurama said. That's the idea. Naruto replied. Good, but do it quickly. I don't want this fight dragging longer than 3 minutes. It would be an embarrassment if it did. Kurama joked. Stupid fox. Naruto thought. Ser Vardys swung at Naruto, pushing him back to the mood door. Naruto used his sword to block a sword strike and the two warriors locked swords as Ser Vardys tried to push Naruto through the moon door. Kat and Tyrion were worried that he would die, but Naruto then pushed back and kicked Ser Vardys away as Naruto moved from the moon door. Naruto moved away from the moon door to the pillars in the room as Ser Vardys continued to swing. Naruto kept blocking and dodging as he backed up, and when he got to the pillars, he put his plan into motion. Naruto ducked under a swing, but Ser Vardys' sword hit the pillar so hard, it embedded itself into the stone. Naruto then kicked Vardys in the stomach and punched him in the face and threw him over his shoulder and onto the ground. Vardys got back onto his feet and pulled his helmet's face mask up as he was heavily breathing. Enough, Ser Vardys. Finish him. Lisa yelled. Ser Vardys put the mask down as he swung but was tired and his swings were getting slower. Naruto then dodged a wide swing and then stepped in and sliced Ser Vardys in the stomach. Ser Vardys pushed Naruto back with his shield to give him some space and held his side as he groaned in pain. Ser Vardys charged at Naruto. Naruto raised his sword to block the sword strike and pushed the sword forward, causing Ser Vardys to stumble, and Naruto then sliced the back of Ser Vardys' left leg, causing him to groan out in pain and fall to his knees, using his sword and shield as support. Lady Lisa was frantic and wanted the fight to end as Tyrion smiled in excitement. Vardys groaned in pain from his injuries while Naruto stood at the ready. Lay down your sword and surrender, no need to forfeit your life for the allegations against an innocent man. Naruto told Vardys. Kill him. Lady Lisa yelled as Ser Vardys got back onto his feet. He charged at Naruto, but Naruto just moved to the side and stuck his leg out, causing Ser Vardys to trip. Naruto threw the shield away and grabbed Ser Vardys' sword arm so he couldn't attack. Sorry, but for the record, I gave you a chance to surrender. Naruto said as he sliced Ser Vardys' neck, and he fell down dead, but fell through the moon door and plummeted to his grave. Naruto looked at Kat, who was sad that Naruto had to do that but was happy that he was alive. Naruto looked over at Tyrion, who nodded in thanks and then back at Lady Lisa. "It is over?" Robin asked. Lisa looked at Naruto in rage. "You don't fight with honor," she said. "I'm a shinobi, honor isn't in our vocabulary," Naruto said as he sheathed his sword. Mord released Tyrion from his shackles as Tyrion smiled and shook Naruto's hand. "Can I make the little man fly now?" Robin asked. "Not this little man. This little man is going home," Tyrion said as he walked up to Roderick. "I believe you have something of mine." Roderick looked at Naruto and Kat, who nodded. Roderick grabbed the pouch of gold that Tyrion had on him and gave it back. "Naruto," Tyrion said as he threw the pouch to him. "A Lannister always pays his debts." "Thank you again," Tyrion said as they shook hands and Tyrion left with Bran. "A word of advice, Tyrion. Stay away from King's Landing for the next few days," Naruto shouted out as Tyrion left. Back in King's Landing, Ned had recovered and was much better. He needed a cane to walk because of the injury to his leg, but other than that he was fine. While Robert was away on his hunt, Ned was to act in the king's place over matters that needed to be dealt with. They were in the throne room with Ned in the throne and Naruto standing behind him. Grand Maester Pycelle and Lord Baelish were also in attendance as Ned was listening to the plea of a farmer from the Riverlands whose village was destroyed by a group of men. "They burned almost everything in the Riverlands, our fields, our granary, our homes. They took our women, then they took them again. When they were done, they butchered them as if they were animals. They covered our children in pitch and lit them on fire," the farmer said with a heavy heart as he and his companions remembered the horrible details of what happened. "Brigands, most likely," Pycelle said. "They weren't thieves. They didn't steal nothing, they even left something behind, your grace," the farmer said. "It's the king's hand you're addressing, not the king." "The king is hunting," Pycelle said. One of the companions brought forth a sack and emptied the contents onto the floor. It was revealed to be fish, and most foul-smelling fish as Naruto could tell. "Fish? The sigil of House Tully. Isn't that your wife's house, my lord hand?" Baelish asked. "Ned, this seems less of a random act of violence and more of a statement," Naruto whispered to Ned, who nodded. "These men, were they flying a sigil?" Ned asked as the farmer seemed confused. "A banner? None, your hand. The one who was leading them, taller by a foot than any man I've ever met. Saw him cut the blacksmith in two, saw him take the head off a horse with a single swing of his sword," the farmer said as everyone realized who he was speaking of. "That sound like someone we know." "The Mountain," Baelish said. "You're describing Ser Gregor Clegane," Ned said. "Now why would Ser Gregor turn brigand? The man is an anointed knight," Pycelle said. "I've heard him call Tywin Lannister's mad dog, I'm sure you have as well. Can you think of any reason the Lannisters might possibly have for being angry with your wife?" Baelish asked as Ned and Naruto realized the reason. If the Lannisters were to order attack on villages under the king's protection, that would be almost as brazen as attacking the hand of the king in the streets of the capital, Baelish said, interrupting Pycelle. Ned thought for a moment and then came to a decision. "I cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life, but perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our King Robert." "Lord Beric Dondarrion," Ned called out as the knight stood forward. "You shall have the command. Assemble 100 men and ride to Ser Gregor's keep," Ned told him. "As you command," Dondarrion replied. Ned then stood up with the help of Naruto to address the rest of the room. "In the name of Robert of the House Baratheon, the first of his name, King of the Undulls and First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms and Protector of the Realm, I charge you to bring the king's justice to the false knight Gregor Clegane and all those who shared in his crimes. I denounce him and detain him. I strip him of all ranks and titles, of all lands and holdings, and sentence him to death," Ned said as everyone shocked at the extreme methods the hand was taking. "My lord, this is a drastic action. It would be better to wait for King Robert's return," Pycelle told Ned. "Grand Maester Pycelle, send a raven to Casterly Rock. Inform Tywin Lannister that he has been summoned to court to answer for the crimes of his bannermen. He will arrive within the fortnight or be branded an enemy of the crown and a traitor to the realm." Ned said as everyone was shocked. No drastic actions have ever been done before, and to threaten the Lannisters was inconceivable. Ned nodded to Lord Dondarrion to get to work, and he did. The farmer and his men bowed in respect and thanks to the hand as everyone else left the throne room. Naruto helped Ned down the stairs of the throne as Lord Baelish walked up to them. "A bold move, my lord." "And admirable," Baelish said. "But is it wise to yank the lion's tail? Tywin Lannister is the richest man in all the 7 kingdoms. Gold wins wars, not soldiers. Then how come Robert is king and not Tywin Lannister?" Ned asked as he and Naruto left. "I believe that was a just move, Ned. We cannot let justice be absent because of a man's wealth," Naruto said as Ned nodded. "Justice has not limits. What is right must be done," Ned said as they entered Ned's office. "You said to me that we would discuss what piece of knowledge Jon Arryn was killed for." "Yes, we would," Naruto said as he closed the door and put a silencing seal on the wall so no one could hear the conversation. "After some digging, I believe I found out what Jon Arryn discovered, the reason he was killed and who tried to kill Bran," Naruto said as he took out some recording scrolls for Ned to listen to. Ned listened to the recording and was shocked to hear Cersei and Jaime talking and how Jaime pretty much confessed to pushing Bran out the window and that he would kill Robert, Ned and Naruto to be with his sister. Naruto also grabbed the history book about the many houses of Westeros and showed Naruto the page on the Baratheons. Naruto turned to the page that listed Robert and his children and pointed out that after Robert, the Baratheon line and description had changed. Robert had black hair and so did the rest of his family until Joffrey, Myrcella and Tommen, who all have blonde hair. Ned was in shock to hear this. The Lannisters had no claim to the throne. Joffrey wasn't the crown prince, he was no royalty but the spoiled child of incest, and the Lannisters would kill anyone to keep it quiet. "So, now that you know, how do we proceed?" Naruto asked as Ned thought to himself. Back in V's Dothraki, the Dothraki were in the middle of a feast for Daenerys and Drogo. People were drinking and eating as dancers moved throughout the tent. Daenerys sat with Yora and enjoyed the company but then saw her older brother stumble into the tent, most likely drunk. "Daenerys? Where's my sister?" Viserys shouted out in his drunken stupor. "Stop him," Daenerys told Yora as he got up. "Where is she? Where is she?" "I'm here for the feast, the horse feast," Viserys shouted out as Yora went up to him to lead him away, but Viserys violently smacked his hands away. "Get your hands off me! No one touches the dragon." Viserys then heard Khal Drogo and his men laughing and turned and gave a sinister smile. "Khal Drogo, I'm here for the feast," Viserys said. Khal Drogo then spoke and pointed to the corner as Viserys looked at Mormont to translate. "Khal Drogo says there is a place for you, back there," Mormont said as he points to the corner of the tent. "That is not place for a king," Viserys said. "You are no king," Khal Drogo was able to say in English. Viserys then grabbed his sword as Mormont tried to stop him but was too late. "Keep away from me," Viserys said as he pointed his sword at Yora. Everyone in the tent had stopped as they saw Viserys draw his sword. "Viserys, please," Daenerys begged him to stop. "There she is," Viserys said as he pointed his sword at her and walked towards her. "Put the sword down. They'll kill us all," Mormont told him. "They can't kill us. They can't shed blood in their sacred city," Viserys said, not noticing Drogo telling 2 of his men to be ready. "But I can," Viserys said as he put his sword against Daenerys' stomach. Viserys saw that Drogo was now watching intently as his son was in danger. "I want what I came for. I want the crown he promised me. He bought you, but he never paid for you," Viserys said as one of the maids translated for Khal Drogo. "Tell him I want what was bargained for or I'm taking you back. He can keep the baby, I'll cut it out and leave it for him," Viserys said as Drogo didn't like that threat. He then spoke in Dothraki as Viserys looked to his sister. "What's he saying?" "He says yes. You shall have a golden crown, that men shall tremble to behold." Daenerys said as Viserys believed she was telling the truth. Well, that was all I wanted. What was promised? Viserys said as he stood back and smiled. Khal Drogo then went over to his wife to make sure she was okay. When he saw that she was, he gave a command. His two men then grabbed Viserys' arms. They broke his sword arm as Viserys struggled to get free. No! No! You cannot touch me, I am the dragon! I am the dragon, I want my crown! Viserys shouted before Khal Drogo's men pushed him to his knees. Khal ordered one of the women to empty the pot by the fire. She did, and he put the golden necklace that Daenerys made for Viserys in to let it melt. Viserys saw this and began to panic. Look away, Khaleesi. Mormont told her. No. She replied as she watched with a straight face. No, Dany. Dany, tell them, make them. Dany, please. Viserys begged his little sister for help, but she would not move. Once the gold from the necklace had melted into a pool of golden ore, Khal Drogo grabbed the pot and walked in front of Viserys. A crown for a king, Drogo said as he poured the hot golden ore onto Viserys' head. Viserys screamed in pain as the hot metal melted through his head and his body shook before his life was gone. They let his body drop as the metal ore had rapidly cooled and Viserys' head hit the floor with a clang. Khaleesi. He was no dragon. Fire cannot kill a dragon, Daenerys said, realizing she was the last one. Back in Westeros, the morning sun had risen and it shined down in the riverlands to show a large force bearing the banner of the House Lannister. The soldiers were preparing to march, readying their horses and weapons, and in one tent above the rest, Jaime Lannister was reading to his father, Tywin Lannister, the raven that was sent from King's Landing. Summoned to court to answer for the crimes of your bannerman, Gregor Clegane the Mountain. Arrive within the fortnight or be branded an enemy of the crown. Poor Ned Stark, brave man, terrible judgment, Jaime said to his father. Tywin was sharpening a knife to skin a dead stag. Tywin thought to himself as he removed the guts from the dead animal. Attacking him was stupid, as evident by the condition you were in, Tywin said as Jaime touched his face. He had a scar from here Naruto's sword cut him and bruises on his face, with a black eye that was almost healed. Lannisters don't act like fools, Tywin said as Jaime just waved him off. You going to say something clever? Go on, say something clever. Catelyn Stark and the whiskered face idiot took my brother, Jaime said. Why is he still alive? Tywin asked. Tyrion? Jaime asked. Ned Stark. Tywin told him. One of our men interfered, speared him through the leg before I could finish him. Jaime lied. Oh, please, what are you, 5 years old, do we need more lies? Tywin told his son. The reason he is still alive is because you were a fool to attack him in the first place without realizing who he had with him. The whiskered face idiot? Jaime said. His name is Naruto Uzumaki, Tywin told his son as Jaime chuckled. Something funny? I find it amusing that you burdened yourself with the details of one boy from the north, Jaime said. If you realized how skilled this boy was, you wouldn't have attacked the man he considers a father, Tywin told his son. And it is not a burden to know your enemy. If you had the brains to realize that, you wouldn't look as horrid as you do now. The boy got lucky, Jaime said. That boy is one of the fastest and most skilled warriors in the north. He is a valued friend of King Robert and holds both respect and position in the north, Tywin shouted, annoyed by his son's arrogance. You're lucky he chose to spare your life rather than take it. That boy was afraid of how you would react, Jaime said. That boy is many things, but from what I've heard, afraid isn't one of them. He spared your life because he took pity on you, Tywin said as Jaime felt undermined. But we will return the favor in kind. I'm giving you half of our forces, 30,000 men. You will bring them to Catelyn Stark's girlhood home, and remind her and the Starks that Lannisters pay their debts. I didn't realize that you placed such high value on my brother's life, Jaime said. He's a Lannister. Might be the lowest of the Lannisters, but he's one of us. And every day that he remains under their keep, the less our name demands respect, Tywin said. So, the lion does concern himself with the opinions. No, that's not an opinion, it's a fact. Tywin told Jaime. If another house seizes one of our own and hold him captive and make one of our best soldiers look like a child, then we are no longer a house to be feared. Tywin told Jaime. Your mother's dead. Before long I'll be dead. And you, and your brother, and your sister, and all of her children. All of us dead, all of us rotting in the ground. It's the family name that lives on. It's all that lives on, not your personal glory, not your honor, but family. Do you understand? Tywin asked as Jaime nodded. You're blessed with abilities that few men possess. You're blessed to belong to the most powerful family in the kingdom, and you're still blessed with youth. And what have you done with these blessings? Served as a glorified bodyguard for 2 kings, one a madman and the other a drunk. The future of our family will be determined in these next few months. We could establish a dynasty that will last 1,000 years, or we could collapse into nothing as the Targaryens did. I need you to become the man you were always meant to be. Not next year, not tomorrow, now. Tywin told Jaime. What of the boy? Jaime asked. He will be dealt with. He is too big of a sword for the Starks and, like all swords, can be broken. Tywin said. Back in King's Landing, after Naruto showed Ned the piece of information that Jon Arryn was killed for, they needed to figure out how to proceed. Naruto referred to Ned's judgment on this matter. The Lannisters tried to kill Bran and they would pay for that, but Tommen and Myrcella were innocent and killing their mother in public would be inexcusable. Ned decided to speak with Cersei. He sent a message to her, telling her that he wanted to speak to her in private at the gardens. Naruto wanted to attend, but Ned told him not to. Cersei walked into the courtyard to see Ned sitting on a bench. You're in pain, she said. I've had worse, my lady, Ned said as he used his cane to stand up. Perhaps it's time to go home. The South doesn't seem to agree with you, Cersei said. I know the truth Jon Arryn died for, Ned said as Cersei tensed up a bit. Do you, Lord Stark? Is that why you called me here, to pose me riddles? She asked. Has he done this before? Ned asked, referring to the bruise on her cheek. Jaime would have killed him, Cersei said. My brother's worth 1,000 of your friend or boy. Your brother, or your lover? Ned asked. Targaryens wed brothers and sisters for 300 years to keep bloodlines pure. Jaime and I are more than brother and sister. We shared a womb, came into this world together, we belong together, Cersei said. My son saw you with him, Ned said as Cersei did feel somewhat bad for trying to kill a young boy. Do you love your children? She asked. With all my heart, Ned said. No more than I love mine, she said. And they're all Jaime's, Ned said as she laughed. Thank the gods. In the rare event that Robert leaves his horse for long enough to stumble drunk into my bed, I finish him off in other ways. In the morning he doesn't remember, she said. You've always hated him, Ned said. Hated him? I worshipped him. Every girl in the 7 kingdoms dreamed of him, but it was mine by oath. And when I finally saw him on our wedding day in the Sept of Baelor, lean and fierce and black-bearded, it was the happiest moment of my life. And that night he crawled on top of me, stinking of wine, and did what little he could do. And whispered in my ear, Lyanna, your sister was a corpse and I was a living girl, and he loved her more than me, Cersei said in anger. When the king returns from his hunt, I'll tell him the truth. You must be gone by then. You and your children. I will not have their blood on my hands. Go as far away as you can, with as many men as you can. Because wherever you go, Robert's wrath will follow you, Ned said. And what of my wrath, Lord Stark? You should have taken the realm for yourself. Jaime told me about the day King's Landing fell. He was sitting on the Iron Throne and you made him give it up. All you needed to do was to climb the stairs yourself. Such a sad mistake, Cersei said. I've made many mistakes in my life, but that wasn't one of them, Ned said. Oh, but it was. When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground, she said as she left. Ned left soon after, and when both of them were gone, a camouflaged figure moved from the nearby tree and the camouflaged cloak disappeared to reveal Naruto. Kurama showed Naruto a new jutsu that made him blend into his environment like a chameleon, which was handy when snooping on a conversation. Even though Ned didn't want Naruto there, Naruto needed to cover his bases, and a recording of Cersei's statement acknowledging that her children were not Robert's would be very useful in the future. Naruto took the recording seal he placed under the bench that Ned sat on and rolled it up and left. In the northern part of Westeros, there stood the Wall. A large defense set up to protect the realm from the wildlings and any other foes that could attack the realm. Jon's time at the Wall was met with hard times from others who thought him a lesser because he was a bastard, but he had quickly proven himself to be the best fighter and rider on the Wall, due to his training with Naruto. He and his friend Sam were on watch over the Wall. The icy wind blowing in their faces as they looked out to see miles of snow-covered trees and land. I miss girls. Not even talking to them, I never talked to them. Just looking at them. Hearing them giggle. Sam said as Jon listened to him but then saw something heading toward the Wall. Don't you miss girls? Sam asked Jon but then saw the same thing that Jon saw. Riders. The horn, we have to blow the horn. Why is he alone? Jon asked, seeing only one horse. There's no rider. Jon and Sam traveled down the Wall as the horse rode through the tunnels and into Castle Black. Jon walked out to see one of the stable boys trying to calm the horse down. That's my Uncle Benjen's horse. Jon said as he looked to see only the horse. Where's my uncle? Jon asked Commander Gior Mormont, but he didn't seem to have an answer. Back at King's Landing, Ned and Naruto were walking through the halls, discussing matters when they heard the footsteps of someone running up behind them. Ned. Naruto. They heard as they turned to see a tired Renly with his shirt open and some blood on his skin. It's Robert. We were hunting, and a boar, Renly managed to say as he led them to Robert's chambers. Robert was lying in his bed, bandaged and tired from his wounds. He was talking to his son, Joffrey, wishing he had been a better father to him so he could be a better man. Cersei, Pycelle, and Barristan were watching as Renly walked in with Naruto and Ned. Joffrey then left as Naruto and Ned looked at the condition Robert was in. My fault, too much wine. Missed my thrust. Robert said with a chuckle. Naruto moved the blanket to see Robert's wounds and they were severe. They were deep lacerations along his stomach and side and most likely were infected by now. Kurama, anything you can do? Naruto asked. Sorry Kit, we have no idea how his wounds would react to my chakra. I'm sorry, this one is out of our hands, Kurama told Naruto. Stinks. Stinks like death. Don't think I can't smell it. Ha ha ha, I paid the bastard back, Ned. I drove my knife right through his brain, you can ask him if I didn't. Ask him. Robert said as Ned and Naruto looked at Ser Barristan. I want the funeral feast to be the biggest feast the kingdoms ever saw. And I want everyone to taste the boar that got me. Now leave us the lot of you. I need to talk to Ned. Robert said as Cersei was worried Ned would tell him now. Robert, my sweet, out all of you. Robert ordered as he coughed. Everyone filed out of the room until it was just Robert and Ned. You damned fool. Ned said. Paper and ink. On the table, write down what I say. Robert said as Ned grabbed the paper. In the name of Robert of the House Baratheon, first of, you know how it goes. Fill in the damn titles. I hereby command Eddard of House Stark, titles, to serve as Lord Regent and Protector of the realm upon my death. To rule in my stead until my son, Joffrey, comes of age. Robert said as Ned changed that to rightful heir on the paper. Give it over. Robert said as Ned gave him the letter to sign. Give it to the council, after I'm dead. At least they'll say I did this right, this one thing. You'll rule now. You'll hate it worse than I did. But you'll do it well. Robert said as Ned nodded. Naruto, you will need him. We both know he was destined for greatness when we found him all those years ago. Don't you remember? I remember. Ned said, remembering back years ago when he and Robert found Naruto and helped him heal and adjust, he was like a son to both of them. We know that Naruto has always been a protector. He's helped others but never wanted to lead, he would do wonders for the kingdom if he was able. Remember that, Ned. Naruto would have been a great king if he appeared years before, I might have let him have the throne and maybe I wouldn't be dying right now. Robert said as he coughed up some blood. The 7 kingdoms are going to need him, Ned. We've kept him to ourselves, but he will be needed, I guarantee it. Robert told Ned to try and stop the attempt on Daenerys Targaryen and told Ned to help Joffrey before wanted something to dull his pain so he could die. Ned walked out of the room to see Naruto, Barristan, Renly, Pycelle and Baelish waiting for him. Give him milk of the poppy. Ned told Pycelle as Pycelle and Renly walked in. He was reeling from the wine. He commanded us to step aside, but I failed him. Barristan said. No man could have protected him from himself. Naruto said. I wonder, Ser Barristan, who gave the king this wine? Baelish asked. His squire, from the king's own skin. Barristan said. His squire, the Lannister boy? Ned asked as Barristan nodded. Such a dutiful boy to make sure his grace did not lack refreshment. I do hope the poor lad does not blame himself. Baelish said. His grace has had a change of heart concerning Daenerys Targaryen. Whatever arrangements that were made, unmake them, at once. Ned told Baelish. I'm afraid, those birds have flown. The girl is likely dead, already. Baelish said as Ned and Naruto left. Naruto left to give himself some peace. He needed to withdraw himself from the situation for a while to keep his mind sane and to allow his mind to recharge. He may be a shinobi, but even he needed some R&R. Naruto asked Ned if it was alright if he took a little stroll, and Ned was fine with it. Ned kept 2 of his personal guard with him since Naruto left. Ned was walking to his study when he saw Renly waiting for him in the hall. Lord Stark, a moment. Alone if you will. Renly said. Ned nodded and his 2 men left him in private. He named you protector of the realm. He did. Ned said. She won't care. Give me an hour and I could put 100 swords at your command. Renly said. And what should I do with 100 swords? Ned asked. Strike. Tonight, while the castle sleeps. We must get Joffrey away from his mother and into our custody. Protector of the realm or no, he who holds the king holds the kingdom. Every moment you delay gives Cersei another moment to prepare. By the time Robert dies it will be too late, for the both of us. Renly said. What about Stannis? Ned asked. Saving the 7 kingdoms from Cersei and delivering them to Stannis? You had odd notions about protecting the realm. Renly said. Stannis is your older brother. Ned said. This isn't about the bloody line of succession. That didn't matter when you rebelled against the Mad King, it shouldn't matter now. What's best for the kingdoms? What's best for the kingdoms we rule? We all know what Stannis is. He inspires no love or loyalty. He's not a king, I am. Renly said as Ned was shocked. Stannis is a commander. He's led men into war twice, he destroyed the Greyjoy fleet. Ned said. Yes, he's a good soldier. Everyone knows that, so was Robert. Tell me something, do you still believe that good soldiers make good kings? Renly asked as Ned didn't seem to have an answer. I will not dishonor Robert's last hours by shedding blood in his halls. And dragging frightened children from their beds. Ned said as he left. Ned returned to his study and wrote a letter to Stannis Baratheon, Robert's younger brother who was now the one true heir to the throne. He wrote down his findings and had a courier send his letter to Dragonstone, Stannis' island fortress. When the courier leaves, Ned thinks to himself for a moment about what was happening. He also remembers what Robert said about Naruto, and he was right. Was Ned selfish in keeping Naruto in Winterfell for years? With Naruto up in Winterfell, they have had years of prosper and safety, the people were happy and looked up to him as a protector, yet Naruto never wanted to be in the spotlight. He wanted peace, and didn't want to lead, but Ned believed that with the moves he was making, that would need to change. He then grabbed another sheet of paper and began to write. Back in the north, Jon and Sam were prepared to swear their oath to the Night's Watch. Since Jon observed the old gods, he was able to swear his oath of fealty in front of a heart tree. Sam was coming with him and a group of Night's Watchmen to lead them. They arrived at the heart tree, a tree with the god's face carved in and blood coming from its eyes. Sam and Jon take a knee as they speak their oath. Hear my words and bear witness to my vow. Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, hold no land, father no children. I shall wear no crowns and win no glories. I shall live and die at my post. I am the sword in the darkness, I am the watcher on the walls, I am the shield that guards the realm of men. I pledge my life and honor to night's watch, for this night and all the nights to come. Jon and Sam recited their oaths. You knelt as boys, rise now as men of the night's watch. One the watchman said as Sam and Jon stood up. They hugged each other and were congratulated. Jon then saw Ghost walked out of the forest with something in his mouth. What's he got there? Sam asked. To me, Ghost. Bring it here. Jon said as Ghost walked up to Jon and dropped a severed hand onto the ground. Gods be good. Sam said, shocked and disgusted. Back at King's Landing, Naruto was walking through the city to one of the gates. He wanted to meditate in some nature, and the forests outside the city was perfect. The courtyards were decent, but he wanted a peaceful meditation. He walked past the gate as he saw green trees and felt the wind blow in his face. He took a deep breath in and relaxed, feeling at one with nature. He walked a little more until he came to a nice clearing. He sat in the middle and slowed his breathing as he meditated. He channeled some of his chakra around his body as he meditated, and his surrounding began to react. The trees seemed to have a better shine and feel as plants and flowers blossomed. The grass blew as the wind picked up into a nice gentle breeze. Naruto hadn't felt at peace for a long time. But then got a smirk on his face as he felt several presences. You can come out now. There's no point in trying to hide, I felt you follow me since I left the castle. Naruto shouted out with his eyes still closed. 6 Lannister guards came out into the clearing with their weapons ready. Naruto smirked as he stood up and saw the guards. Something I can help you with, gentlemen? Naruto asked. Tywin Lannister sends his regards, said the lead guard as he fired a crossbow bolt at Naruto, aiming for his head. The bolt flew through the air, but Naruto just reached his hand up and caught it. The old lion exacts his revenge. But did you really think it would be that easy? Naruto said as he held the bolt in his hands. No, we didn't. The guard said as he motioned for the other 14 guard to come out. Naruto was surrounded by 20 Lannister guards. Not bad. Naruto said. Honestly, I was expecting more, but whatever. Naruto joked. Joke all you want, boy. But you're outnumbered. The captain said as his men prepared their spears. Oh well, I guess I get a workout. Naruto said. Hey Kit, I've got an idea. Why don't you let me take them out? Kurama asked Naruto. Really, you want to? Naruto asked. Yeah, I could do with a fight, even if it's such a small one. Besides, I need to stretch my legs. Kurama said. All right. Let's go tailed beast mode, but not too big, we don't need to destroy the city and part of the forest. Naruto said. Biju's honor. Kurama said with a smirk. Let's get wild. Before we begin, soldiers, I have 2 quick questions. 1. Do you know of the tailed beasts? Naruto asked as the soldiers looked at him. No. The captain said. Pity. Naruto said as he concentrated and his chakra began to circulate around his body. Soon, red chakra began to mix with it, and then Naruto smirked and the energy exploded outward, creating a giant plume of smoke. The soldiers were coughing up a fit and couldn't breathe or see, but then they heard a man scream and a sword stab through a neck. The smoke soon dissipated to show the soldiers a sight they didn't think was possible. Naruto had drawn his sword and killed a guard. They saw that, but next to him was something they have never seen before. A giant red fox, a few feet larger than a full-grown stallion. A giant blood-red furred fox, with 9 tails. Its tails moved around its body as it snarled and growled, its teeth like razors and its eyes like death. Second, does anyone want to leave now? Naruto asked as the soldiers were frozen in fear. The captain, trying to be brave, but more like stupid, walked forward with its spear ready. What, you find a giant fox and think us scarred? You must be a bigger idiot. The man was cut off when one of Kurama's tails grabbed the man by the neck and threw him into a tree. The force of the impact was so great that it snapped his neck. I take that as a no. Take them. Naruto said as Kurama smirked and charged at the troops, taking on at least 10 of them. The remaining 8 charged at Naruto, preparing their spears to impale Naruto. Naruto moved to the side and grabbed a spear that was aimed at him and pushed it forward, killing a soldier that was charging at him. Naruto kicked away the guard whose spear he took and then stabbed the soldier in the stomach and kicked him away. Naruto then spun the spear and threw it a charging charge, and the force of the spear sent the guard flying and stuck him to a tree. Naruto then drew his sword and blocked a sword strike and kicked the guard away and spun to his side to dodge a spear, which ended up killing one of the guards. Naruto then spun around the guards and twirled his sword, hitting specific arteries on the soldiers' bodies so that when he stopped and sheathed his sword, they fell over dead. Kurama finished tearing apart the last guard. The guards were torn to pieces and stabbed through with his tails. They saw one guard try to run away, but Kurama opened his mouth and fired a very tiny Biju bomb that killed the guard and sent him flying into a group of trees with such force that the trees broke in half. Ah, it feels good to stretch my legs, Kurama said as Naruto went up to him and pat him on the head. It's good to see you that you haven't lost any of your ferocity during our years of passivity, Naruto said as Kurama smirked. Hey, just because we weren't fighting shinobi doesn't mean I'm going to go docile. While you were training, so was I, Kurama said. Well, it seems that the Lannisters really don't like me, Naruto said, looking at the dead Lannister guards. Can you blame them? You're seen as a threat, Kurama said as he and Naruto walked back to the city. I don't suppose you would object to staying outside for a while? Naruto asked. Nah, I don't mind, but remember I probably shouldn't stay out for too long. I suppose after a few weeks to 3 months in this size, and if I don't use too much chirka, I can stay out, Kurama said. Good, Naruto said. He then felt Ned's seal flare up like Bran's did when he fell from the tower. Something's happened. Kurama, head to the castle and find me. Kill any Lannister guards that get in your way, but leave the city guards alone. Got it, Kit. Go save your friends, Kurama said as Naruto shined away in an orange flash. Kurama let out a giant growl and battle cry and ran to the castle. Think of what Naruto did to summon Kurama, similar to what Menma did in the Naruto movie Road to Ninja, where he can summon Kurama. Naruto is now able to because he and Kurama are bonded properly. While Kurama can be summoned, I didn't want his giant form to destroy the city, and since he is smaller, he can stay out longer and not put too much of a strain on Naruto's body in chirka. Line break XXXXX, happening at the same time as Naruto and Kurama fight the guards. Back in the castle, after Ned wrote down another letter, Lord Baelish walked in and Ned revealed the truth about Joffrey's parentage. When Littlefinger hears this, he comes up with the idea to make Joffrey their puppet. Manipulate him to fit their own agendas, and if the time comes when Joffrey is unmalleable, they reveal the truth about his parentage and give the crown to Renly. Ned was disgusted by the idea and considers it treason. Littlefinger also points out that even though Ned is named regent and protector of the realm, he doesn't have the power to take the crown from Cersei. He needs more men, and Littlefinger will handle that. Ned was walking through the castle with a group of his house soldiers with him when a squire came by. Lord Stark, King Joffrey and the Queen Regent command your presence in the throne room, the squire said. King Joffrey? Ned asked. King Robert is gone. Gods give him rest, the squire said as Ned bowed his head. Ned walked through the castle until he came to the courtyard where all of his men were rallied. He then saw Littlefinger walked up to him as the bell from the tower signaled to the city that Robert was dead. All is accomplished, the city watch is yours, Baelish said. Good, is Lord Renly joining us? Ned asked. I fear that Lord Renly has left the city. He rode through the old gate an hour before dawn with Ser Loras Tyrell and some 50 retainers. Last seen galloping south in some haste, Baelish said as Ned nodded. Ned then looked around and saw that Naruto was nowhere to be found. Where is Naruto? Ned asked. I haven't seen your bodyguard for some time, most likely still out on his stroll, Baelish said. But we cannot wait for him, we are needed now. Ned didn't like it, but hopefully Naruto would arrive soon. Naruto has always shown up when it is of the utmost importance. Ned, Lord Baelish and the Stark Guard walked through the castle and saw the city guard stationed around. Ned walked up to Commander Yano Slint. "We stand behind you, Lord Stark," the commander said as the doors to the throne room opened and Ned and the others walked in. "All hail his grace, Joffrey of houses Baratheon and Lannister, the first of his name, King of the Undulls and the First Men, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms, and Protector of the Realm," the squire said as Ned and Lord Baelish walked in. The City Watch were stationed in the room and so was Ser Barristan and the Kingsguard. Joffrey sat on the throne, all smug with his mother sitting beside him. "I command the council to make all necessary arrangements for my coronation. I wish to be crowned within the fortnight. Today I shall accept oaths of fealty from my loyal counselors." Joffrey said. "Ser Barristan, I believe no man here can question your honor," Ned said as he held out a scroll and Barristan took it. "King Robert's seal. Unbroken," Barristan said as he opened the letter and read. "Lord Eddard Stark is herein named Protector of the Realm, to rule as regent until the heir come of age." Barristan said as Joffrey was confused. "May I see that letter, Ser Barristan?" Cersei said as she walked down the steps and took the letter. "Protector of the Realm. Is this meant to be your shield, Lord Stark?" she said as she ripped the paper, much to Barristan's shock. "A piece of paper. Those are the king's words," Barristan said. "We have a new king now. Lord Eddard, when we last spoke you offered me some counsel. Allow me to return the courtesy. Bend the knee, my lord. Bend the knee and swear loyalty to my son. And we shall allow you live out your days in the grey waste you call a home." Cersei told him, "Your son has no claim to the throne." Ned said, "Liar." Joffrey shouted, "You condemn yourself with your own mouth, Lord Stark. Ser Barristan seized this traitor." Cersei said as Barristan moved, but Ned's guard moved in front of him. "Ser Barristan is a loyal man, a good man. Do him no harm." Ned said, "You think he stands alone?" Cersei said as the hound drew his sword. "Kill him. Kill all of them, I command it." Joffrey yelled as the Lannister guards drew their weapons. "Commander! Take the queen and her children into custody. Escort her back to the royal apartments and keep them there under guard." Ned ordered. "Men of the watch." The commander ordered as his men readied their spears. "I want no bloodshed. Tell your men to lay down your swords. No one needs to die," Ned said. Cersei smirked as she looked at the commander. "Now!" the commander yelled as his men killed Ned's soldiers. Ned was shocked as he watched his men die. He drew his sword, but Lord Baelish drew a knife and put it against Ned's throat. "I did warn you not to trust me," Baelish told Ned. Baelish then saw a mark on Ned's shirt glow red and soon Ned vanished and Lord Baelish saw him disappear. He then felt immense pain as blood came out of his mouth. He saw a sword pierce his stomach and Naruto behind him. "We never did die, knowing that the one woman you loved will know what you are, a spineless snake," Naruto said as he pulled his sword out and beheaded Lord Baelish. Everyone in the room was shocked to see Naruto appear in the blink of an eye and kill Lord Baelish. Naruto saw the dead Stark soldiers on the ground and tightened his grip on his sword. He then saw Cersei and Joffrey on the throne and Joffrey had a smug look on his face. "Kill him!" Joffrey yelled as two stupid city watchguards attacked him, but Naruto blocked their spears and with one swipe, took their heads off. The rest of the city watch were now a little afraid to fight him. "It seems your little power grab started sooner than expected," Naruto told Cersei. "Ser Barristan, arrest that boy." Cersei commanded as Ser Barristan seemed somewhat hesitant. "I gave you an order. An order from a woman whose son has no claim to the throne," Naruto said as he sheathed his sword to talk to the men in the room. "Ser Barristan, you are a noble and honorable man. Ned and Robert told me tales of your triumphs, and to honor what you fight for I give you and the men in this room a chance. Men of the City Watch, lay down your arms. You took an oath to fight and protect the crown, to fight for justice and honor, an oath that seems lost to you now. Do not be swayed by the wealth that the Lannisters have promised you, they have no right to the throne. Naruto told them as some seemed to listen. I know that you have served a king whose rule was somewhat unrefined, but you fight for more than one man. You fight to serve the realm, to keep watch over a city and install order and justice. The so-called king you follow now has no right to the throne, he is no Baratheon but a child born of incest from his mother and the Kingslayer. Naruto stated as many were shocked and Joffrey was furious. Liar! Kill him now! I command it! Joffrey yelled as they prepared to attack, but Naruto smirked. Your lies and deceits may have fooled everyone in this room, Cersei, but you know this to be true. And what better way to show these men the truth than by your own words? Naruto said as he threw a scroll on the ground and it played a recording. I know the truth Jon Arryn died for. Ned said as Cersei tensed up a bit. Do you, Lord Stark? Is that why you called me here, to pose me riddles? She asked. Has he done this before? Ned asked, referring to the bruise on her cheek. Jaime would have killed him. Cersei said. My brother's worth 1,000 of your friend or boy. Your brother, or your lover? Ned asked. Targaryens wed brothers and sisters for 300 years to keep bloodlines pure. Jaime and I are more than brother and sister. We shared a womb, came into this world together, we belong together. Cersei said. My son saw you with him. Ned said as Cersei did feel somewhat bad for trying to kill a young boy. Do you love your children? She asked. With all my heart. Ned said. No more than I love mine. She said. And they're all Jaime's. Ned said as she laughed. Thank the gods. In the rare event that Robert leaves his horse for long enough to stumble drunk into my bed, I finish him off in other ways. In the morning he doesn't remember. She said. You've always hated him. Ned said. Hated him? I worshipped him. Every girl in the 7 kingdoms dreamed of him, but it was mine by oath. And when I finally saw him on our wedding day in the Sept of Baelor, lean and fierce and black-bearded, it was the happiest moment of my life. And that night he crawled on top of me, stinking of wine, and did what little he could do. And whispered in my ear, Lyanna. Your sister was a corpse and I was a living girl and he loved her more than me. Cersei said in anger. When the king returns from his hunt, I'll tell him the truth. You must be gone by then. You and your children. I will not have their blood on my hands. Go as far away as you can, with as many men as you can. Because wherever you go, Robert's wrath will follow you. Ned said. And what of my wrath, Lord Stark? You should have taken the realm for yourself. Jaime told me about the day King's Landing fell. He was sitting on the Iron Throne and you made him give it up. All you needed to do was to climb the stairs yourself. Such a sad mistake. Cersei said. I'd made many mistakes in my life. But that wasn't one of them. Ned said. Oh, but it was. When you play the Game of Thrones you win or you die. There is no middle ground. She said as she left. The recording stopped and everyone in the room was shocked, especially Cersei and Joffrey. Naruto smirked as he had the proof that put their whole power grab for the throne in danger. Jon Arryn died when he found out the truth and you tried to kill Bran Stark to keep your secret safe. But it's over. Lay down your arms and step down from the throne and you may keep your lives. Naruto told them. Lies. All of it. Kill him. Joffrey ordered, not believing the recording as his men prepared their spears and Naruto drew his sword. One of the guards charged at Naruto but Ser Barristan got in front and sliced the guard's throat. He smiled at Naruto and stood beside him. Several other loyal members and friends to Barristan stood with Naruto and even some city watch stood with him, but the commander did not. You have sealed your fate. Cersei yelled, but then they all heard an animal roar and stopped dead in their tracks. No, you sealed yours when you tried to kill one of my precious people and attack me. One of the things you have failed to realize is that I'm not a soldier, I am a shinobi. And I have something that you have never seen before. The day I was born, a giant 9-tailed fox attacked my village, a demon known as the Kyuubi. He was a force to be reckoned with and the leader of my people. My father sealed him away in an infant in the hopes that the child would grow up to be a hero, and he was right. The QB is now my friend and he fights for what's right. Naruto said as part of the door to the throne room started to break inward as something pounded against it. He was the bane of Konoha, Naruto said as the door continued to break inward. The mightiest of the tailed beasts, the force of nature that could destroy the world. Naruto said as the door was one smash from breaking. And he is my friend. Naruto said as the door smashed and it fell off its hinges. Everyone in the room saw a giant red nine-tailed fox walked into the room, slowly, like a lion stalking its prey. Once it entered the room, it gave a loud roar, causing part of the room to shake. Meet Kurama. Kurama, say hi. Naruto said with a smirk. Greetings idiots, who wants to die first? Kurama said as he bared his teeth and the lesser men were shaking in their boots and dropped their weapons and gave up. Kill him. Joffrey yelled as the extremely loyal Lannister soldiers attacked Naruto and the rest. Naruto drew his sword as he fought off the guards and Kurama swung his tails and claws killing the guards who dared to attack him. Cersei saw that they were going to lose and grabbed her son and she and the Hound and several other men ran out of the throne room. Naruto, Barristan and the others killed the remaining guards as Kurama threw his last guard against the wall. Perfect timing, Kurama. Naruto said. I'm just that awesome. Kurama joked as Barristan and the others were astonished and amazed at Kurama. Incredible. Barristan said. You can ogle later, the lady and her brat escaped. Kurama said. Right, you men, chase after her and detain her and the children. Naruto said, pointing to 4 men. The rest, stay here and tie up the traitors. Naruto said, pointing to the various men who have laid down their arms. What about us? Ser Barristan asked, referring to him and 6 other men. We go through the castle and make sure that the Starks are all right. Cersei would have put in measures to have them killed. So, we secure them and kill any Lannisters that get in our way. Naruto said as Ser Barristan nodded. You heard him, get to it. Barristan said as the men went to their jobs. They left the throne room with a mission to kill any Lannisters they could find and save the Starks. Naruto and Barristan saw the Lannisters attack what remained of the Stark guards and hurried to save them. Naruto and Barristan swung their sword, slicing off flesh and spilling blood as the Lannister guards were quickly killed and the Starks were saved. You men, head to Ned Stark's chambers, I put him there, secure him until I return. Naruto told them and they nodded and ran off. In one courtyard, the Stark servants were busy putting a wagon ready for when they left. Then they saw the Lannister guards charge them and were frightened but saw a shadow jump from castle and kill the guards. It was a giant red fox with 9 tails. Stay inside and don't move. Kurama told them as he ran off to kill more Lannisters. Sansa and Lady Mordain were walking through the halls, wondering where Arya was. Your sister knew perfectly well that we were to leave today. How could she forget? Mordain said. She didn't forget, she's with her dancing master. She's with him every morning, she always comes back with scrapes and bruises. Sansa said as Lady Mordain heard fighting. Shh. Mordain shushed her and they heard fighting from the hall. They then saw a Lannister guard fly through the air and hit the wall as they screamed in shock. Naruto and Barristan then walked in, fighting 2 guards and killing them. Sansa, there you are. Naruto said, happy to see her okay. Naruto, what's going on? Sansa said as he ran up to him and hugged him. It's the Lannisters, they want the throne and they're killing anyone who gets in their way. Naruto said, why would they do that? Joffrey is the prince, it's his birthright. Mordain said, he's no son of Robert, but the product of incest. Barristan said, what? Mordain asked confused. We can talk later, right now we need to get you guys to safety. Ser Barristan, take them to Ned's room and stay there until I get back. Naruto told Barristan, who nodded. Sansa, where is Arya? Naruto asked. She's with her teacher. Sansa said, okay, I'll get her. Meet me at Ned's room and wait until I get there. Naruto told them as he left. Sansa protested, not wanting Naruto to go on his own, but Mordain and Barristan took her away. Arya was training with Syrio when a Kingsguard and 3 Lannister men came in. Arya Stark, your father wants to see you. The guard said as Arya walked to them, but Syrio stopped her. And why is it that Lord Eddard is sending Lannister men in place of his own? I am wondering. Syrio said. Mind your place, dancing master. This is no concern of yours. The guard said. My father wouldn't send you. And I don't have to go with you if I don't want. Arya said as she grabbed a practice sword. Ha ha ha, take her. The guard ordered as one of the Lannister men moved up. Are you men or snakes that you would threaten a child? Syrio asked. Get out of my way, little man. The guard said. I am Syrio Farrell. Syrio said. You're a bastard. The guard said as he swiped at him with his sword, but Syrio blocked it and smacked the guard in the head with his practice sword. And you will be speaking to me with more respect. Syrio said. Kill him. The captain said as his men grabbed their swords. Then a kunai flew through the air and hit the captain in the neck, killing him. Everyone saw Naruto walked in and guards immediately attacked him. Naruto dodged and ducked from their swords, used Kyuubi to slice their knees and then killed them with a wide slash to their necks. Naruto! Arya yelled as she ran up and hugged him. Thank Kami, you're all right, little wolf. Naruto said as he hugged her close. Naruto, what is going on? Syrio asked. The Lannisters tried to take the throne and are killing the Starks to prevent anyone from getting in their way. Naruto said. Why? Arya asked. I know this is a lot to take in, but I'll explain later. Right now, we need to get you to safety. Come on, your sister and father and waiting for you. Naruto said as he led Arya and Syrio through the castle to Ned's room. They ran through the halls to see the dead Lannister guards decorate the floor of the castle. They ran until they reached Ned's room but saw something was off. There was a lot of blood on the floor as Naruto feared the worst. Naruto drew his sword and pushed the door open to see the dead Stark and Lannister guards. He walked in and saw Ser Barristan standing there with a wounded Ned in his bed. His sword was on the ground as he was bleeding as Lady Mordain and Sansa tried to help him. Ned! Naruto screamed as he ran up to him to see a wound on his side. Some Lannisters made their way to my room. The guards were able to take care of most of them, but I didn't want to be left out. Ned said with a small smile. Dad! Arya yelled as she ran up to his side. Arya, you're okay. Ned said. It's all right, Dad. You're going to be all right. Arya said as she held his hand. Naruto, the Queen and Joffrey? Ned asked. They should be in custody. Everyone knows the truth now, Joffrey has no right to the throne. Naruto said, sad to see Ned in such condition. It's my fault, I should have left a clone with you. I had a million thoughts running through my head, I wasn't thinking as much. Naruto said as Ned grabbed his hand. It's all right. You've done the kingdom a great deed today. You've saved the throne and many of our house. I could not ask for more. Ned said. Kit, can you hear me? We've got a slight situation up by the castle walls. We need you. Kurama said to Naruto through a mind link. Like now. Ned, something's come up, I need to go, Naruto. I'll be here when you return. Ned told Naruto. Bring the Lannisters to justice. Ned said as Naruto nodded. Naruto got up and went over to Ser Barristan. No one is allowed in unless I say so. Keep watch over him. Naruto said. I will. Ser Barristan said as Naruto left. Naruto ran up to the wall to see Kurama and several soldiers waiting for him. What is it, Kurama? Naruto asked. Some bad news, Cersei and her children were able to escape the city and left in a hurry. They must have had an escape plan if something went wrong. Kurama said. All right, so why did I need to come here? Naruto asked. That. One of the soldiers said, pointing to the edge of the city to where there was a force of the Lannisters, approximately 300 soldiers ready. Oh. Naruto said. I guess the Lannisters were prepared for the worst. The soldier said. They should have brought more. Naruto said. Kurama, destroy them. Kurama nodded and charged up chakra in his mouth. The soldiers were amazed at what he was doing, and when the chakra formed into the size of a basketball, Kurama shot it at the Lannister force who were about 100 meters from the gates to the city. The orb of energy flew through the air, and when it made contact, a bright light filled the sky and made an explosion. The soldiers were in shock and awe at the power behind the fox and were a little frightened. When the light and explosion dissipated, the entire Lannister force was obliterated. Let the Lannisters hear the fox roar. Naruto said as Kurama gave a loud roar that could be heard from miles away. Cersei, who was in a wagon heading to Lannisport, saw her men get destroyed and heard the roar of that animal and glared in anger. She would have her revenge, somehow, someway she would get her revenge. Secure the city and castle. Any remaining Lannister men are to be captured and imprisoned and shut the gates to the city until further notice. Send out ravens as well to every noble and lord in the realm, let them know the truth and that King's Landing is under rule by the Ned Stark as acting regent and protector until further notice. We have a mess to clean up, Naruto told the soldiers, who nodded. Naruto and Kurama left and went back to Ned's room. Back at Castle Black, after Ghost found a severed hand, Jon and Sam found 2 dead bodies. They were Night's Watchmen who were part of Jon's uncle Benjen's group. When they found the 2 bodies, they returned to Castle Black to show Commander Mormont the bodies. Jon and Sam brought the bodies back to the fort as everyone gathered around to see what happened. It's Arthur, without a doubt, Mormont said. The other is Jaferflowers, my lord. That's the hand the wolf tore off, one of the guards said. Any sign of Benjen and the rest of his party? Mormont asked. Just these 2, my lord. Been dead a while, I'd say, Jon said. Sam took a sniff and noticed something was off. The smell, Sam said as one of the men took a sniff. What smell? The guard asked. There is none. If they'd been dead a long time, wouldn't there be rot? Sam said as everyone seemed to agree with that. We should burn them, Jon said. Snow's not wrong, my lord. Fire will do for them, the wildling way, the guard said. I want Master Aemon to examine them first. You may be a coward, Tarly, but you're not stupid, Mormont said as Sam smiled. Get them inside. Some of the stewards moved to take the bodies inside as one of the guards came out to speak to Commander Mormont. Lord Commander, Maester Aemon awaits you in his chambers. A raven from King's Landing, the guard said as Mormont went inside. Commander Mormont was in his study, reading the letter that was sent from King's Landing. Jon then walked into the room and shut the door behind him. Bring me a horn of ale, Snow. Pour one for yourself, Mormont told him. The king is dead, Mormont told Jon as he was handed a cup of ale. Any word about my father? Jon asked. It seems he is acting regent and protector of the realm. Apparently, a boy named Naruto found the truth that Robert has no true heir, Mormont said as Jon was surprised. Naruto, he found out? Jon asked. You know him? Mormont asked. He's a Stark in all but blood. He helps raise me and my siblings. He's like family, Jon said. Well, apparently the queen wasn't too happy about her secret getting out and tried to take the castle by force. She left the capital as this Naruto regained control and killed all of the Lannister forces she had placed. Eddard was injured during the attack, Mormont said as Jon got up. I hope you're not thinking of doing anything stupid. The next part of the message is for you, Mormont said as he handed the letter to Jon. Jon took the letter and read the message to him. Jon, your father was injured during the Lannisters' attempt to regain control over the capital. The Lannisters were booted out of the castle and have retreated, and Ned is now ruling, but his injuries are severe. If you're thinking of doing anything rash and breaking your oath to come see him, don't. He wouldn't want you to throw away your life. He's proud of you, you are your own man, and I am proud to have trained you. I will keep you informed of his condition, but know that whatever you do, we are both proud of the man you have become. Naruto. Jon smiled at the letter and was proud to know that his father and Naruto were proud of him. Back in Winterfell, Maester Luwin gave Robb the letter that was sent from King's Landing, telling Robb of Ned's condition and the Lannisters' attempt to grab the crown and how they killed many Stark soldiers. Naruto left some instructions to Robb saying not to do anything that Ned wouldn't do, a most shocking discovery. The prince born by incest of the Lannisters, disgusting. Maester Luwin said. Those bastards. They try to kill my brother and father. This can't go unpunished. Call the banners. Robb told Maester Luwin. All of them, my lord? Luwin asked. They've all sworn an oath to my father, have they not? Now let's see what their words are worth. Robb said. My lord, Naruto did say not to do anything rash. Luwin said. Naruto said not to do anything that my father wouldn't do. And my father wouldn't let this crime go unpunished. Robb said as Luwin nodded. You afraid? Theon asked Robb. Robb saw his hand was shaking. I must be. Robb said. Good. Theon said. Why is that good? Robb asked. Means you're not stupid. Theon said as several dozen ravens were sent out from Winterfell, all over the north. Meanwhile back at King's Landing, the city was abustle with rumors and the people were wondering what the hell was going on. There was a giant fox that obliterated an army, like a demon, and many were scared. Many witnessed the fights between the Lannister guards and the Kingsguard and the blonde-haired man known as the Orange Flash. Everyone was wondering what the hell was going on. Naruto had what remained of the city watch try and keep the peace by urging calm. Their answers would be given soon after the regent regained some strength, but that wasn't happening. Ned was dying, his wounds had festered and were fatal. There wasn't anything they could do, even Kurama could see he was going to die. He couldn't heal Ned because if tried using his churka, it would kill him. Catelyn and Ser Roderick immediately rode from the Vale back to King's Landing and Naruto let them in to see Ned, but shut the gates after that. Right now, Cat was sitting by Ned's bed, holding his hand as Ned rested on his bed. Sansa and Arya were with their mother, tending to their father and crying as they watched their father, dying in front of them. Naruto and Kurama were in the room as well. Everyone was sad to see Ned in such condition. Oh Ned, I told you not to take this job. Cat said as tears came out of her eyes. It's okay, I served my king, until the end, and prevented a horrible fate for the realm. Ned said as he cupped his wife's cheek. Sansa, Arya, look at me girls. Ned said as Sansa and Arya looked at their father. I need you to be strong, for your mother. And know that, I am proud of both of you. Ned told his daughters as they smiled. Naruto, come here. Ned said as Naruto moved to Ned's side and grabbed his hand. I cannot thank you enough for what you have done for my family. Ned said. There is nothing to thank me for. I would have done it again in a heartbeat. Naruto said as Ned smiled. You are a good man, Naruto. Robert and I saw this, and we were selfish to keep you to ourselves. Ned said as he coughed up a bit. Robert and I knew you were destined for greatness, as evidenced by the past few days, but it's time for you to do more. Ned said as he pointed to a piece of parchment on his nightstand. Naruto took it and saw it had the hand of the king's seal. Read. Naruto opened the letter and began to read aloud. In the name of Eddard of the House Stark. Hand of the King, Lord Paramount of the North, Lord of Winterfell, Warden of the North, Lord Regent and Protector of the Realm. Name Naruto Uzumaki to serve as Lord Regent and Protector of the Realm upon my death. To rule over the 7 kingdoms until a time comes when he decides the proper heir to the throne. Naruto read aloud and was shocked. He was frozen and so were Cat, Sansa, and Arya. Ned named him ruler of Westeros. Robert said you would make a fine king, and he is right. Rule, Naruto, be the ruler Robert thought you could be, the ruler I know you are. Ned said. Ned, I don't know what to say. Naruto said. Say nothing. But do me one last favor. Ned said. Anything. Naruto told him. Bring justice to the Lannisters. The Lannisters will return with force against you and the North, protect them. Ned said as Naruto nodded. I know you will do great things, and I couldn't be prouder if you were my son. Ned said with a smile as Naruto began to tear up. Kurama, I know I have only known you for a short time, but look after Naruto, for me. Ned said. You have my word. Kurama said as Ned smiled and closed his eyes and he passed away. Cat, Sansa, and Arya broke down crying as Ned died. Naruto watched the man he considered a father figure die with a smile on his face. Naruto put Ned's hand back onto his chest and stood up. Sansa got up and hugged Naruto tightly as she cried, and Naruto comforted her. Naruto and Kurama left the room to let Kat, Sansa, and Arya have some peace. Ser Barristan and Maester Pycelle were outside waiting for him. Naruto handed Pycelle the letter and read it in shock. Ser Barristan read the letter and smiled. "So, what now, Lord Regent?" Barristan asked. "Prepare a funeral cart to have Ned and the rest of the dead Starks move back to Winterfell. They should be buried with their families," Naruto told Barristan, who nodded. "Of course, Lord Naruto," Barristan said as he nodded. Grand Maester Pycelle, send a raven to every noble and lord in the realm. Let them know what happened, Naruto said as Pycelle nodded. And add that the Lannisters are now enemies of the realm and that any house or noble that sides with them will share the fate that awaits them of treason and murder, Naruto said in anger. "At once, Lord Regent," Pycelle said as he and Barristan walked away. "Well, Kit, how do you want to proceed?" Kurama asked as he and Naruto walked down the hall. "First we put Ned into his family's crypt to be buried in peace. Then we reform King's Landing," Naruto said. "And after?" Kurama asked. "We bring down the Lannisters and show them what happens when they cross an Uzumaki," Naruto said in anger. Line break XXXXX. Days had passed after Ned's passing and the whole North was in mourning. Robb was furious and now declared war on the Lannisters, to which Naruto agreed. After Ned died, Naruto had a funeral service done for Ned, to honor his commitment to justice and honor and for giving his life to protect and serve the realm. Everyone was in attendance as Naruto, Ser Barristan and Grand Maester Pycelle also told the city what happened. They revealed the truth about the Lannisters, the incest children and their power grab for the throne. Many were hesitant to let the Naruto act as leader and were afraid of him, and Naruto understood that. Naruto had to introduce Kurama and couldn't ignore the fact that when he had Kurama destroy the small Lannister army with a Biju bomb, it sent a pretty clear message. Naruto told the people that Kurama was a guardian for them, to protect the city and the realm, and he demonstrated that by having Kurama use his churka to rebuild the forest outside the city walls, and it had the unexpected effect of saving a lot of the farming land and soil around the city. The people were happy that they had food, but it was still a long road before the people fully accepted Kurama. Even though the people weren't as terrified of Kurama, Naruto's position as regent was still in question. He was acting ruler, but many thought that Stannis was next in line since Robert had no true heir. But the letter that Ned wrote made it clear that Naruto would choose the next heir for the throne, but still, Naruto had a long way to prove himself as a ruler. After the memorial service, Naruto was seeing off Kat, Sansa, and Arya. They were riding back north with Ned's body. "Naruto, talk to my mother, let me stay with you," Sansa begged him, not wanting to leave him here by himself. "Sansa, you belong with your family. You will need each other in the time to come, but you will always be with me," Naruto told her as he hugged her. He then looked to Arya. "Arya, be brave for me and protect your family. They will need you and Needle, now more than ever," Naruto told her as she smiled. Naruto hugged her tightly as he kissed her head. "Kat, I'm sending 5 clones with you up north. They should be enough to protect you on the journey and make sure the Winterfell stays safe," Naruto said as Kat smiled and hugged him tight. "Thank you, Naruto. Ned was right, you will be a great ruler," Kat said as she kissed his cheek like a mother would a son. Kat and Arya got on the wagon as the surviving House Stark members went with them. Before Sansa stepped up on the wagon, Naruto turned her around and gave her a kiss. Sansa was shocked, but kissed back. It was a short kiss, lasting a few seconds, but Sansa had a blush on her face. "Take care, and know that you will always be with me," Naruto said as she got on the wagon. "May the gods grant you safe passage," Naruto said as they rode away. "Now what, Lord Naruto?" Ser Barristan asked. "King's Landing needs to be healed first, before the Lannisters will pay. Ned told me he knew I would be a good ruler, and a good ruler looks after the people first. This city needs saving," Naruto said as Barristan smiled. Meanwhile, with the Lannisters, Cersei and her children had fled King's Landing and rode to Lannisport. Lannisport was a seaport city and a big hub for trading in the western part of Westeros. It was also under the rule of the Lannisters. When Cersei had arrived in the city, she ordered the city guard to lock the city down and prepare for war. She also sent a letter to her father, telling him that the accusations put against her and her children saying that Joffrey was no rightful ruler were fabricated by the whiskered-face idiot who made a deal with a demon to forge the recording to turn the city against her. She hoped that her father would accept the lie. He wasn't there to hear the recording, and putting in the part about the demon would help with the deception. Cersei was bolstering her forces and resources to prepare for war against the Starks and to retake King's Landing. She and her children deserved the throne, and now they would take it by force. King's Landing was most likely in disarray because of the fight between her houseguard and the City Watch. She would exact her revenge on Naruto. She would humiliate him and kill the Starks, the people he considered a family. When she retook the throne, he would suffer a fate that even the gods would fear. Joffrey was especially angry at Naruto. He deserved the throne, it was his birthright. Naruto was a liar and cheat, using magic to make that fake recording so he could have the throne. When he retook the throne, Naruto's head would be put on a spike. With the one non-hated member of the Lannisters, Tyrion and Bran were heading to the western part of the Vale where Tywin had his army set up. Tyrion and Bran were bringing company with them as they met members of the hill tribes, and Tyrion was able to convince them to join a possible alliance. From here, it might be best if Bran and I continue alone. Tyrion said. Best for Tyrion, son of Tywin, but not best for me. If the half-man betrays us, Shagga, son of Dolf, will cut off his manhood and feed it to the goats, yes. Tyrion said, finishing Shagga's sentence. All right then. Time to meet my father. Tyrion said as they walked into the camp. The Lannister soldiers were shocked to see Tyrion walk through the camp with a group of hill tribesmen. Tyrion walked in to see his father discussing strategy with his brother, Kevan Lannister. Tyrion. Kevan said. Uncle. Father. Tyrion said as he walked in with Bran and the three leaders of the hill tribes. The rumor of your demise were unfounded. Tywin said. Sorry to disappoint you. Tyrion said. And who are these companions of yours? Tywin asked. This is Shagga, son of Dolf. Chieftain of the Stone Crows. Timett, son of Timett. Ruler of the Burned Men. This fair maid is Chella, daughter of Chake. Leader of the Black Ears. And here we have Bran, son of. Tyrion said as Bran didn't seem to answer. You wouldn't know him. Bran said as Ser Kevan chuckled. May I present my lord father, Tywin, son of Tytos of House Lannister. Lord of Casterly Rock, Warden of the West. Kind of you to go to war for me. Tyrion said as he sat down and reached for a jug of wine, but his father took it away from him. You left us no choice. The honor of the house was at stake. Your brother would never have submitted to capture so meekly. Tywin said. We have our differences, Jaime and I. He's braver and I'm better looking. Besides, I agreed to go. Tyrion said. He's been covering himself in glory. Tywin said. Jaime smashed the river lords of the Golden Tooth. And now lays siege to Riverrun, Catelyn Stark's homeland. Kevan told Tyrion. And the Starks' Lord Eddard? Tyrion asked. He's passed, gone from this world, from wounds suffered in the taking of the throne. Tywin said in anger. I wonder how the king felt when his best friend betrayed him. Tyrion asked. Robert Baratheon is dead. There is no king that sits on the throne. Only a boy who knows nothing of how to rule. Tywin said as he showed Tyrion the recent letter they received from King's Landing. Naruto rules as regent and protector of the realm? Tyrion asked in shock. Given to him by Ned Stark after the two of them took the throne from Joffrey. Making deals with demons to sway opinion on Joffrey's right to rule, claiming him to be no son of Robert, the balls on the Starks. Tywin said in anger, believing the lie his daughter told him, because he believed in his family's right to rule. And he now labels us as enemies of the realm? That boy is no king, he has no right to rule. If I know Naruto as well, I know him from our brief time together, I say that the throne is out of our reach. Tyrion said. Not entirely, your sister fled to Lannisport and rallied what remained of the soldiers there to prepare an army to take back the throne. King's Landing is in disarray from the recent fighting, making it easy to take it back. Tywin said. Not as easy as you might think. Tyrion said, not doubting Naruto's fierce abilities and knowledge of combat. We have other matters to attend to. The Stark's son has called his banner men. He's moved south with a strong host. Kevin said, Green boy. One taste of battle and he'll run back to Winterfell with his tail between his legs. Tywin said, maybe, though the boy does have a certain belligerence. You'd like him. Tyrion said. While we're on the subject of war, I made promises to my friends here. And a Lannister always pays his debt. We shall require 3,000 helms and shields. Plus swords, pikes. Tyrion was cut off when a squire ran into the room and knelt before Tywin. If it please, my lord. Ser Adam gives me report that the Northmen have crossed the neck. The squire said as Tywin was surprised. The wolf rushes into the lion's jaws, so be it. Kevin, command the assembly. Tywin ordered. Send word to Jaime that I'm moving against Robb Stark. At once, my lord. Kevin said. Tywin then walks up to Shagga to discuss their alliance and he welcomes it, especially after hearing that Tyrion will have to fight with them while Tyrion wasn't as happy. A few weeks or so had passed since the Starks had left and King's Landing was undergoing some changes. Now that Naruto ruled as regent, he worked closely with Ser Barristan and Grand Maester Pycelle since they were the only two members of the remaining council he trusted and because the others were dead. Naruto had Ser Barristan recruit any volunteers from the city who would be willing to serve on the city watch since their numbers were low. Ser Barristan was now in charge of the Kingsguard and the city watch until they appointed a new commander. Naruto worked with Maester Pycelle on the workings of the city, food, safety, security and the general happiness of the people. Naruto made some clones to help with the rebuilding and refurnishing of the city. Old homes and buildings were renovated and new orphanages were built, making sure that every child had a warm bed to turn to at night. Also, Kurama's restoration of the land using his chakra, which had the effect of creating stronger and more fertile soil, helped the farmers grow more food. Naruto had also reopened King's Landing seaports to allow ships to come in and trade. Naruto had sent new trade agreements with the other parts of the realm, such as Dorne, the Reach and parts of the Stormlands. Now that the Lannisters were gone from King's Landing, the Martells were much more amicable in terms of discussing trade. All in all, King's Landing was doing much better than it was a month ago. Naruto left several clones in the castle to look over papers while he would walk through the city with Kurama to make sure the people were okay. Even though Pycelle told Naruto that he could arrange a new council to help him, Naruto told Pycelle that a good ruler prioritizes himself with looking after his people and fixing his own problems. Naruto was walking through the castle with Ser Barristan. As the two were discussing the issues of the day, the new recruits needed to be trained and there was the matter of the men who surrendered during the battle. Naruto would have some clones help with the training and have some men who surrendered immediately undergo a probation before they could be put back into service, depending on if Kurama could sense they were being genuine about serving again. As for the rest, they would be sent to the wall. Ser Barristan had to admit, Naruto was a very wise leader. Naruto and Ser Barristan came up to the pikes of the castle where many enemies of the city had their heads put on as a warning. Naruto was disgusted by the sight. How dreadful, I never did understand why Robert did this. Naruto said to Ser Barristan as he saw the heads of Varys and Baelish. It was means of deterrence, my lord. Robert uses them to send a message to any would-be traitors or enemies. Barristan said. Just Naruto, Ser Barristan, I told you I don't care for titles. Naruto said as Barristan smiled. Of course, Naruto. Barristan said as he smiled at Naruto, proud of the boy's humility. In any case, I think it's best to take them down for now. We're trying to rebuild King's Landing and to make it stronger. Sending a message to the people such as this doesn't make them any more comfortable with us. Naruto said as Ser Barristan nodded. All right, where should we put them? Barristan asked. Bury them, they may be traitors, but all men deserve a burial. Naruto said as Barristan nodded. You can do what you want with the rest of your day, Ser Barristan. I'm going to take a walk through the city, make sure everything is all right. Naruto said as he walked away. Are you sure, Naruto? Perhaps I should go with you to make sure you stay safe. Barristan said. I'll be fine. Besides, Kurama will be coming with me. Naruto said as Kurama jumped down from the roof and landed next to Naruto. Enjoy your day as you see fit, we've done a lot for King's Landing, we all deserve a small break. Naruto said as he and Kurama left. Kurama and Naruto left the castle and took a stroll. Many of the people gave nods of respect towards Naruto, smiling, bowing their heads, and addressing him as Sir or Lord Naruto as Naruto smiled and walked by. During Robert's rule, he never walked through the city unless he was in a royal carriage. He distanced himself from his people while Naruto didn't. Naruto mingled among the people, talking with several merchants, asking how business was and if there were any problems, buying some fruit and handing some to children who walked up to him. Some of the children even went up to Kurama as Kurama played with them using his tails. As Naruto walked through the city, people gave him looks of respect and even some of happiness. There was no doubt that the city was in better shape and he was responsible for it. Naruto had a nice smile on his face as Kurama saw. "I'm proud of you, Kit." Kurama said. "What for?" Naruto asked. "You've done a lot for the city. They respect you, you've looked after them 10 times more than any previous king." Kurama said. "True, but they weren't shinobi." Naruto joked as Kurama chuckled. "That is true, but nonetheless, your parents would be proud." Kurama said. "Thanks, Kurama." "That means a lot." Naruto was cut off when he felt something outside the walls. Kurama felt it too, it was heading towards the city. Naruto jumped on Kurama like he would a horse and the two ran towards the wall. Kurama climbed the wall as many of the city guards stationed there gathered around to see Kurama and Naruto on the wall. "Sir, it's the Lannisters. Our scouts say they are marching towards the city." The captain said. "How many men do they have?" Kurama asked. "A few thousand." One of the soldiers said. "They must have come from Lannisport. Tywin is busy fighting against Rob, I didn't think he would come here as well." Naruto said. "Lord Tywin isn't leading this army, sir. Our scouts say it's most likely a force sent out by his daughter." The captain said. "In an attempt to retake the city, because she thinks it weak and vulnerable now." "Smart but misguided." Naruto said as the soldier nodded. "What should we do, sir?" The captain said. "Nothing. The Lannisters don't seem to understand who they face. Let's remind them." Naruto said as the captain smirked. Naruto stood on the wall with Kurama next to him. Naruto went through a flurry of hand signs as Kurama began to charge his churka. Kurama then opened his mouth and let loose a huge stream of fire like a dragon but much more powerful, and Naruto took in a deep breath and released, wind style, great breakthrough jutsu. Naruto yelled as he let loose a massive and powerful gust of wind which made the fire even stronger, and a huge wall of blazing inferno was launched at the soldiers. The Lannister forces screamed in pain as the fire spread and engulfed more than half of their forces as they all burned and died. The remaining forces ran away with their tails between their legs. "Now maybe the Lannisters will think twice before they come here again," the captain said. "I wouldn't count on that." Kurama said as Naruto chuckled. "Captain, forgive me, but what is your name?" Naruto asked. "Travin Kleber, sir." The captain said. "Well, Sir Kleber, congratulations, you are now the commander of the City Watch." Naruto said. "Thank you, Lord Naruto." Travin Kleber bowed his head. "You will have more responsibilities now, but I have confidence you can do it. Ensure that any surviving Lannister soldiers are captured. Put several guards on the walls as lookouts. No doubt the Lannisters won't give up. And when you can, see Ser Barristan, he will help you with the training and recruitment of more men." Naruto said as Ser Kleber nodded. Naruto got on Kurama as he looked to the soldiers around him. "Hold strong, men. We've made a better capital than ever before, let's keep it that way." Naruto shouted as they cheered. Naruto and Kurama jumped from the wall and headed back to the castle. "You know something, Kurama?" Naruto asked. "What, Kit?" Kurama replied. "You make a comfortable horse." Naruto joked as Kurama used a tail and knocked him off. "Ow, hey! Don't get in over your head, Kit. I'm still a Biju," Kurama said as he walked away. Meanwhile, with the Starks, Ned's body was returned to Winterfell so he could be buried where he belonged, with his family. Catelyn was still mourning as Robb had declared that all of the Lannisters will die. They marched against Tywin and Jaime Lannister, and through clever diversions, Jaime Lannister was captured and now their prisoner. Cat sends a raven to Winterfell telling Naruto that they captured Jaime, and Naruto replied saying that if they wanted to kill him that was fine. But if they wanted to send him to King's Landing where he would be humiliated in front of the city and then killed, that would be even better. The Starks were moving south to meet the Lannisters in battle. Naruto controlled King's Landing, and so the Starks were going to meet the Lannisters near River Run. After the defeat and Jaime's capture, Tywin had his force pull back to a few leagues away from Casterly Rock and Lannisport. Robb held a meeting with his banners about what to do in the coming war that was likely to expand. They were going to fight the Lannisters, but now that Naruto ruled as regent, ravens were sent out from Renly and Stannis claiming that they had a right to the throne. The banners wanted to discuss if they should follow Naruto as regent or follow one of the true heirs to the throne. The course is clear. Join with Renly and move south to join our force with his. One of the banners said, still believing in the line of succession that a Baratheon should rule now. Renly is not the king. Robb said, "You cannot mean to hold to Naruto, my lord. He may be regent, but he has no right to rule. Renly has the larger force and by blood is in line to the throne." The lord said, believing in the line of succession. That doesn't make him king. He's Robert's youngest brother. If Bran can't be lord of Winterfell before me, then Renly can't be king before Stannis. Robb said as everyone seemed to agree with that logic. Do you mean to declare us for Stannis? The man asked as everyone seemed to argue. We should declare for Naruto. Kat said as everyone looked at her. Ned gave him the title as regent because he had faith that Naruto could be a good ruler, and from what we've heard from King's Landing, he is. The people love him, the city is bustling now more than ever, and he has stopped 2 Lannister attacks against the city. We should declare for him and make him king. Kat said as everyone considered it. My lords. Here is what I say to these 2 Baratheons. Lord Umber said as he spat on the ground, and they laughed. Renly Baratheon is nothing to me. Nor Stannis neither. Why should they rule over mine from some flowery seat in the south? Lord Umber said, why shouldn't we rule ourselves again? Naruto Uzumaki is a friend of the north, that I believe, and he can rule the south for all he wants to, but, in the north, there is only one king I mean to bend my knee to. With him there we can work out a treaty with our one true king. Umber said as he pulled out his sword, knelt down. The king in the north. I'll have peace on those terms. They can keep their red castle, and their iron chair too. One of the lords said as he bent the knee. The king in the north. Am I your brother, now and always? Theon asked Robb. Now and always. Robb said, my sword is yours, in victory and defeat. From this day until my last day. Theon said as he took a knee. The king in the north. The king in the north. The king in the north. Everyone chanted as Robb looked at his mother with slight apprehension. They needed to talk to Naruto about this. Meanwhile, with the Lannisters, Tywin was holding a strategy meeting over the recent loss in battle, Jaime captured, and the attack on King's Landing a complete failure. They have my son. Tywin said. The Stark boy seems to be less green than we'd hoped. Tyrion said. I heard his wolf killed a dozen men and as many horses. One of the lords said. Is it true about Stannis and Renly? One of the lords asked. Both Baratheon brothers have taken up against us. Jaime captured, his army scattered, Cersei's folly attempts to retake King's Landing killed more men we could have used. It's a catastrophe. Perhaps, we should sue for peace. Kevin said as Tyrion threw a cup on the floor and it broke. There's your peace. We saw to that when our forces attacked Naruto and killed Ned Stark. You'll have a better chance at drinking from that cup than you will be getting Naruto and Robb to sit at the table. They're winning, in case you hadn't noticed. Tyrion said. First order of business is ransoming Ser Jaime. One of the lords said. No truces, we can't afford to look weak. Another replied. We should march on them at once. First we must return to Casterly Rock to, they have my son. Tywin yelled, getting them to stop talking. Get out, all of you. Tywin ordered. Not you. He said to Tyrion. Tyrion sat down as Tywin poured him a glass of wine. You were right about Naruto. If we didn't attack, maybe we could have brokered a peace with Winterfell at Riverrun, which would have given us more time to deal with Robert's brothers. But now, madness. Madness and stupidity. And now we have a boy who has control over the capital. Which, if I'm not mistaken, you've met him. Tywin said. An ambitious boy, from what I can tell, and smart, very clever. You'd like him, Tyrion said as Tywin chuckled. He's a fierce warrior, with the mind of Baelish yet always protects his friends. Something I think you would find admirable. Tyrion said. A noble quality. Perhaps we should have tried to broker peace with him sooner, but Jaime's stupid attack at King's Landing and Cersei's attempt to retake the capital, I fear we will not broker peace with him. Tywin said. Not with you, Jaime or Cersei, but with me, maybe. Tyrion said as Tywin looked at him. What do you mean? Tywin asked. Naruto is a dear friend of mine. He asked for my presence in the Vale, and when Lady Lisa went crazy, he fought for my freedom. I am, as he calls it, the one Lannister he cannot hate. Tyrion said, jokingly. Perhaps you can be of use. We will regroup to Casterly Rock and consolidate our forces. Ser Gregor will burn the Riverlands. And you will go to Lannisport. Tywin said. And do what? Tyrion asked. Rule. You will serve as ruler and lord of Lannisport over Cersei. You will bring Joffrey and your sister to heel, and you will try and broker a peace with Naruto, and if need be, prepare us for war. Tywin said. Why me? Tyrion asked. Because you're my son. And you're the only hope we can have at gaining peace. Tywin told him as he left. Line break XXXXX. Time had passed since Cersei's attempt to retake the throne, and after the last one, she hadn't made another. Naruto figured Tywin most likely didn't want her to waste any more men. That worked for him, since he was busy trying to get his forces ready. More men had been recruited into the City Watch and were being trained by Ser Barristan and Ser Kleber. The people were happy, they had food, the city was completely refurbished, and no one was going hungry. If someone had compared it to now against 20 years ago, it would be two different cities. Naruto smiled. He helped the city grow and thrive, now he needed to deal with war. Naruto had gathered a meeting with him, Pycelle, Barristan, and Kleber. They were in the council room as Kurama was lying on the floor. They were going over letters that were sent from all over Westeros about the coming war. It seems that the Starks were able to defeat the Lannisters. Tywin has pulled his forces back to Casterly Rock. Pycelle said. Well done, Robb. Naruto said. Not all news is as sweet, my lord. It seems as though the Northerners have declared themselves as a separate people with Robb Stark as the Northern King. Pycelle said as he handed the letter that Cat wrote to Naruto. Ugh, Robb, why do you want to give me a headache? Naruto said as he rubbed his head, and Kurama chuckled. Also, Stannis and Renly Baratheon have now claimed a right to the throne. Barristan said as he handed the letter to Naruto. Two Baratheons that want the crown. Renly seems eager, but tell me about Stannis. Naruto said. Stannis is a fierce warrior, no one doubts his prowess in combat, but he encourages less loyalty from his men outside of war. Barristan said. Ned did send Stannis the letter about the Lannisters because he felt that Stannis was next in line. But with 3 men declaring themselves king and the Lannisters still free, I would find it best to wait until the Lannisters are brought to justice before I name a new king. Naruto said as Kurama nodded. Good plan, Kit. Kurama said. My lord Naruto, Stannis is next in line to the throne. Pycelle said. I'm not doubting his right to the crown, but with Renly and Robb declaring themselves king, if I make Stannis king, we will find ourselves in the wrath of both Robb and Renly. Naruto said as Pycelle nodded in understanding. A wise plan, my lord. Kleber said. I want to meet with them first. Robb, Stannis, and Renly, to negotiate who should take the throne, and I feel it would be best to wait until the Lannisters are dealt with. Naruto said. Of course. Barristan said. Now, if there's nothing else, you can retire for the night. Naruto said as they all left. Well, it looks like things are going to get exciting around here. Kurama said. Well, I knew that things weren't going to be simple, Naruto said as he looked out the window and saw a full moon. Something tells me that the Lannisters and the crown are going to be the least of our problems, Naruto said as the 3 remaining dragons were born in Essos and the White Walkers had risen. That's it for this reading. Hit like and subscribe for a free ticket pass going to the different worlds of anime fanfiction. Looking forward to having you on board again.